Listen, listen, listen. Welcome to Monday Night Tour Ramblings, where I will ramble on for I don't really know because there isn't a lot of news. I go away for a week. I take a week off, and listen, the rumors of my retirement are highly exaggerated. I plan on being here for the long haul, but I go away for a week, and I mean, the classified line ends. Lenny is literally thrown out of the Hasbro doors. They threw his stuff in a box, threw it out. He died. Um, I mean, it was reading after what happened. I'm pretty sure Lenny Panzica is no longer walking this mortal earth with us. As holy shit, dude! Like seriously, like did you see after he resigned? Like you would have thought that this guy not only passed away, but he cured cancer. He was the Pope at one time, and ridded all the all the crap from the Catholic Church. He became president and got the conservatives and liberals together. I mean, seriously, that is how it looked on the GI Joe forums. And then conversely, there were some that have talked about how awful of a person he is and how people are celebrating like it was 1999 all over again. But we're going to get into that because I can't take 1 week off without all hell breaking loose. But we have time before we get to that. So, anyway, I hope everyone had a wonderful, wonderful couple weeks. Hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. And thank you for giving me a little bit of your time to maybe create something, maybe to make your Mondays just a little bit better. Ending the day off. I don't know if I'd want to listen to me at the end of my first day. Probably want to listen to me less or even less on Friday nights, but I only do that once a month, and sometimes I miss that. So anyway, yeah, I got back from New York. First time I ever went to New York. I got feelings on New York. Now, I did not go to New York, New York. I didn't go to the Big Apple. I went to Webster, New York, which is a suburb of Rochester, New York, and I only went into Rochester for a second, and I don't know if I ever need to go back, to be honest. Um, it kind of reminded me of Flint, Michigan. Um, I'm sure there are good people there, but there wasn't anything to write home about. No, I wasn't in very long, but when I think of Rochester, Rochester, Michigan is where all the rich people are. Uh, the things that I found out about Rochester, no, I'm sorry, Webster, New York, or New York in general on the way there, uh, potholes are awful. I thought Michigan had the worst potholes ever. I was wrong. Um, Webster, New York, they don't have street lights. I'm not talking traffic lights, street lights. It is pitch black. And I mean, I'm driving by the Target, the Walmart, the movie theater, a couple good restaurants that I found, and it is pitch black. A matter of fact, when Ed came out, we were leaving Target, and I said, I want to go see where the training center is, like a mile away from the hotel. And so it took us a back way after we went by it. No lights. And there was a deer crossing the street. Now, if you've ever dealt with deer or seen deer, and we see a lot of deer in Michigan, they go streaking across the street. This deer moseyed on along, like, you know what? Please hit me, put me out of my misery. I don't want to be here in Webster, New York. Um, and luckily, I don't ever need to hit a deer. I have been lucky, and I hope to keep it that way. Uh, so they don't have street lights, um, and maybe the slowest drivers ever. And I'm not joking. It was infuriating trying to drive from the hotel to Target to the restaurants to Walmart. The slowest fucking drivers as you could imagine. I just cannot believe that people could drive that slow when there's no one there. I mean, seriously, there is no one there. Um, other than that, it was a pleasant place. Uh, Clean, nice, more than what some people from New York told me was there. But Ed even said it's been a long time since I've been here. So, um, not the worst place. I have a feeling I'll probably end up going there for some more training. Uh, but who knows? I thought I'd eventually go back to Dallas for training, and they don't really do the training there anymore. I wish I could now that I actually know people in Dallas. But anyway, let's get into it. Let's say hi to the chat. There is 48 people watching. There was 50 at one point. Hit that like button if you haven't, but let's say hi to everyone. And quickly, we have, man, I'm going to slaughter this. Miracle Man. I think I got that right. We have GI Bro, who has the best guns in the community. The Crusty Old Crow, Darth Burke. We have 80s Joe's jumping in here. Ronnie Trickshot, who is like, I'm sorry, classified Ronnie is what I like to call him now that he's finally into classified. This guy is doing more YouTube than anyone that I ever see. Every time I turned it on this whole weekend, all I saw was Ronnie on my fucking YouTubes. Now it also didn't help that I was walking around. If you look at the thumbnail, I was wearing a shirt too, so I guess that was my own fault. We have Matthew Matson, who Matthew Matter is. Matthew Matson, one of my moderators, jumping in here. We have David R, and then let's see here, SCS Dog saying aloha all. We did find out that he used to live in Hawaii, if I'm correct, right? He no longer lived there, but that's why he starts with the aloha. I wouldn't mind to go to Hawaii one day. Cooking with Eric has jumped in. We have Snow Wolf. I'm not gonna lie, if I don't see Snow for another, I don't know, 8 months, I'll be happy. I don't need to see that shit anymore. MCR Mazda is here. We have Cal Shave or Callister. We have Same Time Toys. Let's see here. Payne's Toy Samples. Great to see you finally jumping in early. I know you are busy. If Payne used to have a wonderful show. He used to do this Venn diagram of collectors, like nerd, stalker. It was kind of weird. There was never the cool section, which I would have fit completely into. But Payne, you know what? It'd be cool if you started doing something like that again. I know you really enjoyed doing that. I know you're busy. I know you got your whole family and everything. So I'd love to see you start doing YouTube again. Nolan, which makes us Toy Tube official. We have Ultra Match. Dustin Blair Debo DNA. He's one of those New Yorkers that told me how awful Webster is. Oops, I should have said that, but I did. Lego Star Wars Kid has joined the chat. 610 Yojo Daddy saying, "What's up, punk? Hope you're doing well. What's up, chat? Y'all smash that like button and subscribe." Could not agree anymore. Seriously, hitting subscribe, easiest thing that you can do. You don't need to send super chats. What it does is it tells the YouTubes, hey, people are enjoying this. We need to send this out. This is the place to be Monday night. I don't know if it is, but I should say that because I will admit, I am the #1 rated toy talk show on Monday nights from the 9 to whatever slot in the state of Michigan, in Mount Clemens, in my own little subdivision. That I do know. I've locked out that demographic. I've also heard I've locked down the demographic of 86-year-olds. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Sometimes you get some interesting messages, but it was a very nice one, I have to say. It's nice to hear stuff like that when people say nice things about you, because I know none of you fuckers in the chat say anything nice about me, especially most of my moderators. Well, I only have 2 moderators. We got Plastic Fantastic, another one of those New Yorkers saying, "What's up? Finally able to catch a live Monday night toy rambling. Why haven't you before?" We have Men who's jumping in here. Let's see. Is there anyone out? There he is. Action Fake says, "You cannot beat West New York pothole." Man, Michigan is awful. And I don't say that as a chest bump. I'm not like patting myself on the back, trying to knock a shoulder off like some people that we see on YouTube doing. It's not something I'm proud of, but holy shit, dude, it's awful. Like, it is truly awful. I'm happy I made it back. My vehicle made it back one in one piece for sure. We have Gun Bunny Customs jumping in. We have Son of a Crayon Slayer. Stiv Chom saying, missed you last week, Punk. Thank you. It does feel good to be missed. I'm not gonna lie. It makes you feel like, hey, everything, all the work that you put in the past. We're on 4 years. Season 4, as I put it up. It makes you feel good that people realize, hey, you know what? I just need to give this guy say, hey, you know what? Thanks a lot. You make my Mondays better. Mr. Madcap, you guys know listen, my ego is small. I need to grow it. So I need the encouragement. We have Jim Smith. Anything north of Albany is run down. Jim Smith, I don't know. I might be wrong, but I feel like I've never seen you. So
wait a minute. Wait a minute. You gotta understand, man. I never even saw these assholes before.
We got Stu for lunch saying salutations to all and Punk. Hi, Ken, just in case. Yes, always say hi to Ken. You never know when Ken might be showing up. You want to make sure you say hi to Ken because all hell might break loose. We have a double dog saying, what's up, guys? We have Beardy McPherson jumping in. Sorry, I'm late. I thought the series wasn't renewed for season 4. No, we are in season 4. They are not canceling us mid-season. That is for certain. For sure. U.S. Combat Dojo is here. And then we have Retro Cap saying, hi, Punk. I got to go to Webster because I'm a Webster. Is that your last name? Or are you a little person? I'm a little person. I was not as small as Webster or Arnold. Clint Jorgensen jumping in. It's been to Hawaii 18 times. Can't go wrong there. You've been there 18 times, but you can't make it to Augusta, Georgia because I need to adopt. God, believe me, have kids for a while. You'll be like, why did I adopt? Just kidding. I'm so not. Anyway. We got JP. That's what you're getting, JP. I see you all the time. I know you're on Circle of Jerks. Great to have you here. Did I say hi to SES Dog? 80s Joe saying, hey, Punk, did you leave your fingers out on display when you left the hotel room for the cleaning staff to enjoy? I do. Oh, the figures. Why did I say fingers? No, I just put that little tab on there not to come in and bother me. But there were a lot of figures. There were definitely a lot of figures. I almost had them come in the last day, but I was like, you know what? I don't need them. Jonathan Berge says, season 4, does that mean we're going to get a new side character like an adopted kid? I'm not fucking adopting any goddamn kids. I will let Clint and his wife, wonderful, lovely wife, they can adopt all the kids they want. I have had my kids. I've had my fill of kids. I have just over a year of child support left. Oh, like, did you see the tunnel was like the light of the tunnel was like this, like when it started, and it slowly gotten bigger. And then one kid went away and went like this. The kid still went back down because if you're paying $500 a month for 2 kids, you think when one comes off, you would pay, $250. That's math, but you don't. You still pay like $350. It makes no sense, but whatever. It's almost done. It does make me wonder: do I still have to pay child support after I don't have kids under the age of 18? Who knows? Tony's face jumping in. Member for 31 months. So you know what you're gonna get. You're gonna get the
fucking Phil Collins.
You know what? Screw it.
Welcome to the Creamery.
To all the people who are not part of the Creamery, that's what you get right there. Todd C is here. Monday becoming a popular day for toy streams. That's what I've heard. I don't pay attention to other people. I know Jerk and Gaines do a show, and yeah, that's it. But you're right. Monday went from no one doing it, to well, I was doing it, to now everyone is doing Monday nights. Hey, you know what? If that's when you can go live, then go live. That's all I have to say about that. And Retro kept saying last name. Well, good. No one wants to be as short as Webster and say hi to ma'am. Uh, Gristlehorn is here. You ever wonder how I go this long? How I go 3 hours? It's because I go through all these names. Frank Demunia jumping in. I think we're about done at the end. Here we have Andrew Davis, and that kind of wraps it up. Anyway, I don't know where the hell I was, but anyway, I was in Webster. That's where I was at. Like I said, I had never been to New York. I actually, before I left for New York, I printed up a map. And printed up a map, and I took my coloring pencils that I got to color with Allison, and I went through and I colored all the states that I've been to, and I colored, I think, blue for states that I actually spent like a day or did something in, and then I think I did like orange for like ones that I've just passed through. And I think I'm kind of at that age where it's like I need to start hitting, going to seeing how many states I can hit before I go to see the big man in the sky who sends me down to the the, the hot guy in the ground. Um, I think I've been to I think it was 26 or 27 states. I've driven through them, not actually experienced anything in them. But you do start to realize how many you've been to. And the thing that I had forgotten before I got to it was like, I've never been to I think it was Colorado or whatever, but I've been to the Four Corners, which technically means I have been in those states when I was visiting Arizona. So I'm like, oh, there's like 3 states that two states that I was at, that I never thought I was in because I was on the Four Corners. But it's one of those things where it's like, did I go here, or did I just see so many pictures that I saw so many pictures that I feel like I've been here? But I had to go back to when I was in Arizona with my buddy Derek because he lived there, and I was there for 10 days once and 3 days another time. Went to the Grand Canyon, went to the OK Corral. Is there any chance to go to the OK Corral? It's cool. It's tiny though. I just say it is tiny. You'll be blown away that there was there was a shootout here. You're like, how would everyone not die? But yeah. So I was there, but I just started marking it down, and I've spent time in Texas for training numerous times, Ohio, unfortunately, Iowa, actually a couple of times in Iowa. But it was just like going through, and I'm like, you know what? I need to start mapping stuff out now that my kids are getting older, doing stuff in different states, and just experience what's out there. Stanley Everhart saying, Punk, where were you last Monday? You weren't live to sing me happy birthday. I would not have sang you happy birthday anyway, but I was training. I was in Webster, New York for training. I barely sing my kids happy birthday. I ain't singing you fucking happy birthday. Evo Dookie jumping in saying Punk and chat. I think he's saying like, what's up? We got action figures sold separately. Dude, if you haven't checked out his stuff, I tag him in almost every single picture that I've done because I have so many of his backdrops. And I gotta say, oh man, Agents of Omega, that rock piece or whatever it is, oh my god, it's gonna come in so handy for that. I saw the green grass. I'm like, this is awesome. We're gonna talk about those figures really soon, and I mean, like, I don't know when I get through this year. HK Viper jumping in here. Let's see here. Nice. We will put you in the Utah Toy Collectors Hall of Fame. Yeah. Wait, what's the Four Corners? I forget what they are, but I know I highlighted them. I don't know where it's at. It's probably downstairs. Probably got thrown away. Hustle's jumping in here. Let's see here. But now that I know more people, I would love to like go around and not I don't want to be like a band and like just crashing people's houses. But I would love to just like head on out places and um, just visit and see what's out there in some of these other states. So Boba Fett has jumped in here. I think like we have made it to the end. So I'm happy to see this. Uh, anyway, all right. So let me start quickly. The crates. All right. You guys have all seen the crates. Motherfucker, the crates are downstairs. How do I not have the crates near me? You have got to be kidding me. She's gonna be so pissed because I've had her going up and down, getting me the crates. So, I guess I can easily just kind of show them off right here. I can just show the page rather than it. So anyway, Radnom has done the Punk with Toys crates. I've seen a few people posting pictures with them. Photog Damon has done an amazing job. He does this really cool, these really cool like stories. So I was like, dude, this is cool. Like this is what I wanted to see. That's the type of stuff that I was hoping for. Obviously Ed and Matthew, GI Jetman has posted them. I know he's gotten them. But yeah. So anyway, these are going down today. So 12:59, I believe, is when Radnom is removing them. If you are interested in these crates, now's the time to get them. I don't think we're going to have these back again. These are going to be different. If we do something, it's going to be different. I've already spoken to Radnom. He's, let's just say, him putting these shorts up. He's been doing shorts showing him making these crates and everything. He actually got an amazing endorsement. I'm so happy for him, to be 100% honest. Like a huge endorsement for him. So either way, like his, you never know. The Hella Dope Toys crates, they did wonderful. I'm way more polarizing than them, but also they were selling them. So if you're interested in these, as you can see, they can hold rifles. They can hold different accessories. If you have grenades, pistols, dossiers, stuff like that. And they look amazing in the back of photography because it's real wood. And it's lasered on there. So if you're interested in these, this is the time to get them. I might have some at Joe Fest. I'm in talks with Radnom right now, so I could possibly have some. Again, be the same price. But if you're interested in getting some of these, then I would say get them right now, and then tag me when you do photography with it, and I will reshare it. Because I'm not gonna lie, like my ego is, I got a big fucking ego. I ain't gonna fucking lie, dude. I play it off. My fucking ego is literally through the goddamn fucking roof. I love seeing my fucking pictures back there. Not my pictures. Yeah, it's cool to see stickers. That's awesome. But seeing this in photography is awesome. Joe Fan 84. So again, if you're interested, this is the time to do it. We're not sure what we're going to do next, but I don't think we're going to get whatever we do. It will be different. If it's this size crate, if it's the box, like the Hella Dope Toys box, if it's just removing on kind of a big deal, if you don't know, it does have that on it right over here. So again, if I don't push my own stuff, who the hell else is going to push it? So there you go. I know Ed posted a link right there. So click on it. Go buy some crates. If it makes anyone feel any better, I get no profit. I get no proceeds from this. I just want to see my name out there. Like I said, my ego is huge. It's huge. It is growing. I probably shouldn't say that. But it is. So anyway, enjoy it. I look forward to hopefully seeing a few more. So Big M has jumped in here. Let's see here. Is there anyone else? We had Stephen K. And I think that's about it. All right. So I know I was going to say something else. I always have something else to say. So I have a whole list of things, if you can believe that. I do this literally right before I start, though. So anyway, crates are going in the vaults. The reviews. So this has already happened once. It's so, man, it can be a pain in the ass. Quick, Andrew Davis says, Punk, you came to New York when? Last week I was there. Webster, New York, not like New York, Webster, New York, for training though. So it was drive in, and then I didn't do much. I went and ate. Found a good Mexican restaurant. And I actually went back to that Mexican restaurant again. I went to the bar next to the toy store. Ugh, that toy store. Man. It takes a lot for me to not want to go back to a toy store when I'm there for a full week. It was just dirty. And they had no prices on anything. It was, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if they're watching, man. Like, that place needs to be cleaned up, organized, put prices on things. I would love to have done like a walkthrough, but I think it would do more damage than anything. But I don't think they cared, to be honest. You know, it was like barter town, I think is what it was. And if you like the place, that's great. I just could imagine John from Sergeant Red's like walking through it, being like, "Oh man, yeah, just not my cup of tea for sure." Cobranomics, I love this name. It flows. Cobranomics 788. All right, so look, it says you ate at that bar. You're brave, dude. Great bacon cheeseburger. Honestly, great bacon cheeseburger. The place was really clean. All we could hear was music because they had live music. It was not a dive bar like I thought it was going to be. So we probably should have eaten there. Although, again, the Mexican restaurant, I went back again, so I'm not going to complain. I also found a good pizza place. They didn't serve that shitty New York style, thin pizza. Who the hell wants thin pizza? But it had amazing breadsticks. So anyway, Clint Jorgensen says, Punk, go to New York City for the first time. Hey, Punk, go to New York City for the first time for their New York Comic Con. It is worth it. That's very expensive. Everything still needs to fit into a budget. Contrary to what many people believe, YouTube does not pay me very much money. And when I do get paid, I'm working pretty fucking hard to make the money that I do. I'm not like some streamers that clearly they've found the viewers that just want to throw money at them. I'm not that guy. I'm the blue collar guy that's going to work my ass off. That's why you see so many videos and everything. So going back to the videos, we got hit again. And I'm going to say, I hope someone from, Big Bad Workshop is watching. They need to, in all honesty, like, I understand things come in, but this is too much. Like, all this stuff at once, it is such a financial hit. It makes it very difficult for most people. I've been able to, maneuver things around to make it work by doing this. I'm one of the lucky ones, and I will continue to reiterate that over and over and over, that I'm one of the lucky ones. I don't take that for granted, but a lot of people can't. They need to break that up. And then obviously, there's a lot of G.I. Joe stuff. We got confirmation that Zanya is coming, the Ramp Rats are coming, and then, Duke is coming, but I didn't order that from Hasbro because it was sold out that quickly. Mine's coming from Walmart, and Rotclaw or whatever his name is, the dinosaur. That's all coming. These are all big items, and there's other stuff coming. And if you're not just a G.I. Joe collector like myself, there's going to be Marvel Legends and different things like that are all coming. Just when there's that big lump sum, and it hurts them too. There's a lot of people that had to, cancel certain things in their orders because it's just too much all coming at once. And it makes it damn difficult. Mr. Wonderful has jumped in and says, I'm here. We can start. Listen, I would never wait for you be a complete waste of my fucking time. And then we have Sean Forrester jumping in saying, "Hey y'all." So I had got, like, if you're not watching, I've dropped a bunch of videos. I've dropped 4 of the Crimson Moon, the Order of the Crimson Moon, the Hooded Cobra Commander, or not Hooded Cobra Commander, which clearly, and I show you, if you haven't watched it yet, and you have Supreme Cobra Commander, they have 2 hoods that have black. One has black in the middle and red on the sides, and the other has red on the sides. I'm sorry, black on the sides and red in the middle. It matches Supreme Cobra Commander perfect. The problem is it has that little logo. The actual paint is, the actual plastic is red. So if you remove the one that has the red in the middle, you won't remove the paint like if you tried removing the black. A little bit of sticky tack, fits awesome. I really like that. The Not Destro is growing on me. It has the face sculpt that kind of looks like Pizza Hut's sidekick, but also somebody said it reminds them of Doom, and I can see that too. And then I just did the Major Noir, and I forget who the other guy was. the actual leader. And when I'm done with all of them, I'm going to do a video showing how they all can be the Palatoy Red Shadows. I'm just doing a quick video for that, showing all the red shadows and stuff like that. But I still waiting on the army builders to come in. I got 3 of them coming. I think they're going to be here tomorrow, and I'll start jumping in and working on those after Circle of Jerks probably. Quickly here, I know it's somewhere.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
True Star Screamer, or Trust the Screamer, $5 super chat saying, "Forgot the Mr. Wonderful. Now I am here. We can start the good part of the show." You get that, you get that, Eric? Eric. You mean Travis? I think I missed that. But anyway, thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. All right. So you saw the Agents of Omega. Look, there's Roman. His leg is getting better, so I'm letting him go up and down the stairs a little bit more. Agents of Omega. That was one that I wasn't I'm not saying I wasn't excited for, but I didn't really know what to think of it. And damn, it is really, really cool. Savage Crucible Elric. Thank you. Andrew Dave says, "Punk, what was you doing in New York? I could have took you around to some hidden toy spots." Well, I was in Webster, New York. Not buy anything. Other than Rochester. And I was there for training. So, you're basically training, go back to the hotel. I always went out and got something to eat, other than one day. Went to the pool, worked out, the fun stuff that people do when you're doing work training, not vacation. We have a NorCal Voodoo Toy Box saying, "What's up, Figure Junkies and Punk? Hope everyone is good." And then Kyle Funk saying, "What's up, Punk? Hope your Monday has been going well. And my Agents of Omega should be here Thursday." If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You gotta understand, man. I never even saw these assholes before.
all right. So Agents of Omega, I got it. The snake is disappointing. Looks amazing, but it's just solid, right? You can still make it work. There's something about the figure that was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. It is just a full repaint, other than I think both head sculpts are new. I could be wrong. That both head sculpts are new. But they're all meant to look like someone. But if you looked at the pictures that I posted on Instagram, It's a lot of fun, man. It is a lot of fun. I like what they did with it. Um, and they're gonna tell a story, and that is, in my opinion, what is making things so much fun. Um, so that was a surprise one that I definitely was like, I'm definitely interested. I'm definitely interested, and seeing the green grass, I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna go out there with this stuff that I got from action figures sold separately. I'm gonna do obviously I'm not gonna do it for a while until I get all these fucking reviews done, and work stuff like that. Bobby Wold saying, after seeing that Fresh Monkey Fiction wave of Crimson Moon, I'm hoping Lenny does something just like that at Boss Fight with the October Guard. Um, well, he may have already started, just not at Boss Fight Studios. Uh, just know that he may have already started, just not at Boss Fight Studio. So, War Chest Full of Toys is here, and hi, it's me. Hey, I look like somebody. Is it me? All right, and then did you guys all see this video? Agent Carter. This is the Fresh Monkeys. This dropped this morning. No, it didn't. Because after I recorded my intro, and then I started recording it, and then the arm popped off, so I had to stop it, and I took a picture of it because I wanted to pop it back on, but I also wanted to send it to BBTS, like, hey, you know what, the arm is broken, it looks like it's ripped. I did it, did my outro, I create the thumbnail, I do all that good shit, and then I go to process it and cut it together, and I have no sound. And I look, and I'm like, what the fuck? Why do I not have any goddamn sound? And then I'm looking at my microphone, and I realize either the microphone died or I somehow turned it off. I don't even think there's on-off buttons on it. So I recorded 3 videos back to back to back. Usually I do them in between. I'm like, I'm just going to record it all, and then I'll cut it all up. I'm doing this late last night after 11 o'clock. Haven't even finished editing the other ones together. All to find out that I have a full video recorded that I can't use because I don't have any sound. And to say I was beyond aggravated would be the understatement. You're just kind of pissed at yourself. I didn't notice that the button that, again, either it was turned off or what, I don't know. But either way, there's no sound. And I was going to do it today, but it was the last thing I wanted to do when I got home from work, and I knew I had to do this show, so I take my nap, had to make dinner, all that other good shit. So that's why you didn't see that. And you won't see it tomorrow because I didn't do it. And the rest of the Crimson Moon stuff is supposed to be coming on. So who knows what I'm going to do, but I'll do some stuff after Circle of Jerks for the next morning. Izzy Trevi is here, and then Cooter's Garage. Now, I know people are going to say, you said something about the arm breaking off. It popped off while in the video. I will put that in when I do the review. Clearly, this review will be different because I always do them with you seeing them in the package, and he's no longer in the package. And if BBTS responds and they take care of it, I will mention that in the video when I do the reviews. They've always taken care of me anytime there's been an issue with whether it be one of their products or another product that they've sold. So, but yeah, it was disappointing. Sean Forrest says, dang, I was waiting to see the Agent Carter video. Shame about the QC. I feel they rushed a lot of the product this time. It's like this with anything. Obviously, it's like this with anything. You have big batch of stuff, you're going to have some issues. The question becomes, the question truly does become, is it the few of us that are showing it, or are all of these have a problem? There was a little tear in it. That's why it came off. How many of these have I had that I've had no issues with? So I'm not like overly concerned. It's the same buck that came with the Agent, not the Agent, the Spy. So I don't think it's a big deal. It happens. I popped it back on, but you can tell it's going to get loose and it's going to, it's going to pop off. So, Allison Troy jumping and say, do you not know how to do a voiceover? Well, I could, except for I specifically I'm pointing stuff out during the review. And when you have a huge hiccup, like the arm popping off, yeah, not going to work. There's a reason why I do mine a certain way. And I still have to redo the intro. And Matthew saying, rushed the product. It was 2 years later than initially projected. It has been, I don't know if it's 2 years later than projected. It's been a while, but I've kind of lost track of time, right? It does, everything seems, I mean, I've done this for 4 fucking years, over 4 years. That's crazy to begin with. Toy Matrix saying, yo, Punk, long time, man. My work schedule changed. Couldn't make Monday night for a while. Glad to be back. And it's great to have you back. Love seeing new people. Love seeing people come back. Love knowing that people are just watching on the replay. So, Just a Star Screamer says, you need that live expletive to really hit the impact of what the figure goes snap. Yeah, it bounced behind me too. I was gonna put it in, like, I was gonna do the video today, and I don't want to. I mean, I have more of these to do, and I haven't even gotten to the army builders. I haven't gotten to the guy with I forget what he's called. I'm talking about the Soldiers of Fortune, the one with the rocket launcher. The henchman. That's the one that I'm anxious to get to. But I know people think, hey, you know what? You put no effort into it. They say the same thing about, Bees Battleground, put no effort into it. Man, this shit takes time. And I edit it. I do at least 3 different takes there. The thumbnails, the pictures, and it all adds up. And you're like, there's not enough time. 24 hours in a day is not enough. But anyway, so I have all that to get through. I even got Blanca and Balrog. I doubt, or not Blanca, E Honda and Balrog. I did not review the last figures. I probably won't review those, but they're sitting there. If you watch the videos, you'll see all the figures that are there. And I'm hoping to find Skeletor. I don't know if I'll do a review on Skeletor. This guy here, like, I cannot believe how well this guy has done. MOTU's never done shit for me. I'll leave that for Cobweb. This video has done so well, and all of a sudden it will spike, and it'll spike every now and then. Since I've done it, like 100, 120 views in an hour out of nowhere. So I'm but I want the Skeletor. And I know Spec got Skeletor and Trapjaw. My Walmarts have gotten He-Man, Man-at-Arms. Who Man-at-Arms has a pistol that doesn't have the trigger guard is solid. It looks stupid. And they got Triclops. So Walmarts are getting the new wave right now if you're interested in those not Masterverse. I forget what they're called. Whatever they call them now. They're up on BBTS too. Lonzo Wilkinson jumping in here saying, checking in. Great to have you here. But yeah, it is one of those things. Matthew says, yep, initially promised was 2024. Then the pre-orders said March 2025, and we get them April 2026. I like how Matthew, when Matthew decides to stick his heels in and say something, like Matthew acts like he's never dealt with the toy industry and doesn't know this is what happens. But it has been a long wait, and I gotta say, after talking to some of these guys, Chronicles, thank you. After talking to some of these guys, and like Assembly Required and doing shows with them, you start to get an idea of how some of these factories treat some of these companies, how they get pushed back when other bigger companies come in, how they act like, hey, I've never even done this stuff before. And again, I think factory to factory is going to be different for sure. But and that's what made Delta 17 so awesome. Steve did those on his own dime, so there was no wait for him. He just had product and he was able to sell them, and I think people enjoy that and they appreciate that. But that's not how most of the companies do it for sure. Let's see here. 3-star draw jumping in here saying, "What up, Punk mods and chat? How you doing, Darren?" So Lego Star Wars Kids, those movie He-Man figures look pretty cool. So nice. They look classified scale. Yeah, I think if this is what they do with the DC universe, I think we're going to be happy because I think they're going to fit in. If someone is smart, they are grabbing the Marvel Legends and going, scale them with this, because you are going to get Marvel Legends fans that never picked up anything, and you're going to get the DC fans that are going, shit, well, now I got to start picking these up because they're not going to scale with the McFarlane stuff, and you can resell Batman after Batman after Batman. But it's the smart thing to do. Matthew says, yep, the biggest problem is that Hasbro and other companies have stuff in the same factory. They get bumped several times. Yes, they do. They do. There is no doubt about it. And I think Big Bad Workshop is getting pretty big. I mean, you look at the amount of stuff that they have pushing out. So it's kind of crazy, to be 100% honest. So anyway, the other thing, someone mentioned, and they're like, hey, you have merch, you should push it. There is a link in all the descriptions. You go through Entertainment Earth. I thought it was more prominent. I got to figure out how to get up there. I do have shirts up there. Circle of Jerks shirts, Duke Roman or Roman Duke shirts. I obviously got the classic Punk with Toys. I will be putting up a Joe Fest one. So if anyone is interested in that, I'm going to put that one up. And after I get back from Florida, that one is gone. So it's going to be a one-time thing. I will have Joe Fest stickers that are going to be the exact same. And they're only good for Joe Fest. If you're not at Joe Fest, you don't get them. And then they're done. That's it. Something a little bit unique. Just something a little bit unique. You know what else I did? I don't have them around me. I ordered all my pictures. So I got my Joe Fest 25 picture book already done. If you guys remember, if anyone was there last year, if I got a picture with you in 24, I had you sign the book. It's going to be the exact same thing this year. So if you were with me in a picture with me or spent time with me in 25, I'm going to have you sign the book. It's just kind of a memory thing. And if you weren't there in 25, fuck you. You should have been there, right? I kept telling you guys all to go. But in 26, we'll be able to do this stuff. So I got that. I also got assembly required. I'm hoping to go to assembly required again, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to. And then we have, sometimes you just get one of those guys that he just shows up and you don't know what to do. Baldy Locks jumping saying, push merch, baby. If I don't push my own merch, who will? Jay Solowards saying, what's up, Punk? Mattel DC is going to scale with their WWE line. They have already shown pics and they are noticeably bigger than Joe's. That is not what I'm hearing. My understanding is I haven't seen any pictures. My understanding is they're supposed to scale closer to a 6-inch, not a 7-inch line. So hopefully I'm right and you're wrong, and not because I feel I need to be right, but because I really want them to scale. It would make more sense. The Chronicles fit more with the G.I. Joe stuff. So, but yeah. Baldy Lock says, yo, Paul and Joe fan and all the punks. Okay. I thought Baldy was referring to something else at first. All right. This Thursday, there is no Thursday with a friend, but I will be on Toy Domination. So if you're not following Toy Domination, it is not that type of channel. It is a toy channel. It is not a Toy Domination channel. Check him out. Dom is a wonderful guy. I was on his show a while back. He came on Thursday with a friend. He happened to hit me up and say, "Hey, are you free at all? I know you do a show." And I'm like, "You hit me at the perfect time because I'm putting together my Thursday with a friend now. So there will not be a Thursday with a friend. So don't tune in here. Tune into Toy Domination. I will post it for sure." There's Roman. He wants to get up and get going. But after that, it is the drive to Joe Fest. And I've already mentioned I'm changing up Thursday with the friend. I'm going to have people that are going to be at Joe Fest, specific groups of people that are going, some that have never been on the show before, some that have never gone to Joe Fest. But I want to have it kind of show wise, people that are associated with each other, having them on so we can kind of talk about like what their experience was. Maybe they drove together, maybe they decided as a group the same way we kind of did in 24. Myself, Baldy, Tony, there's someone else too, but I don't fucking remember his name. We all decided to go to Joe Fest in 24 and it had an absolute great time. And I know last year Tony and myself and Ed, we all shared a room, and this year it looks like we have Baldy committed to going again. Tony's still going, Ed's going. We got Darren and Pop Blender, and again a host of other people. All the people that I'm forgetting, I apologize. But anyway, that's what leading up to Thursday with a friend. It's me just mailing it in. I'm 100% honest. It's me just mailing it in. I'm just mailing in my Thursdays to Joe Fest in Orlando, obviously. But I am definitely looking forward to it. SCS Dog says any channel can be that channel if you try hard enough. I forget what I said. What type of channel I was. Oh, the Toy Domination channel. Yeah, I believe we talked about it on Thursday with a friend when he said, "Hey, when I started the channel and when I named it Toy Domination, I didn't put two and two together." And it's like when you look at Toy Domination, you realize this is it means a whole different thing. Derek Hoover jumping in here. What's up, man? And 3-star saying, glad to see Roman is back in his co-pilot seat. I think he wants out. I just didn't know if one of the I didn't know if Olivia was going to be downstairs. I know Andrew won't stay down. I'm letting him go up and downstairs a little bit more. So, all right. Quickly, as I will reiterate, the boxes, the crates that I know everyone absolutely loved, they end tonight. So if you are interested in these crates, Ed, if you could drop a link to this, that would be great. These end tonight. So Rednam and I have talked about it. These are going in the vault. I might have some at Joe Fest. Like I said, I am in the middle of talking to him about it. And again, they'll still be $18 at Joe Fest. But if we do something else, again, there'll be something different. Kind of like the way Supreme does their stuff. You come in, you get one chance to buy stuff, and next thing you know, it's gone. I guess I'm just posting this myself here. Ed's probably doing it right now, but but if you're interested, head on over. I love seeing these pictures, and again, tag me in them, and I will definitely share it. And I will again talk about it. I will reiterate and remind everyone probably around 11 o'clock again when the show really gets jumping. Anyway, tomorrow we have Circle of Jerks. Baldy. I don't know who else will be on. Baldy has to be on because it's technically on his channel. Spec usually shows up for school from his work, which is a school. Tony, if he's not on the amble or not with his girlfriend, he shows up. I don't know if Terry's still on the show. I think he is. He's still in our group chat. No, Terry's still part of the show. I think. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, that's about it. I think I hit everything. Oh, you know what? When I was in Webster, New York, I like to just go out. You know, a lot of these guys they just go back to the hotel, they order food, whatever. I like try and find some nice restaurants. And I mentioned I found a Mexican restaurant that I went to twice, and there was another like I guess dive bar is what you would call it. Good food. But I went and saw a movie, and I actually went and saw Project Hail Mary. Um, I'm not gonna say that I'm not gonna say this is one of those ones like Top Gun Maverick where you need to see it in the movie theater. Um, you know, like that's a movie you need to see in the theater. But I would say that this is one of those movies that seeing in the movie theater is better. It is. It was not what I expected. It was unique. It was interesting. Um, the premise of the movie is that they have to basically send astronauts to into space so far that there's no way they can come back. It's a suicide mission, right? Um, but it's and again, that's not again. I think anyone that reads the synopsis of what it is, not, but it's getting there and the journey of everything that happens and how everything goes down and how it all happens. It is a very interesting movie. It is a good movie. So if you're a movie goer like I am, I love going to the movies. Even now, I know some people hate it. Uh, it's a movie we're seeing, and I don't think that you're going to. I don't think you're going to waste your money. You know, I think you'll go, you'll be happy, and then you know, you can come here and tell me what you thought of it. But I just want to mention that I did go see that and definitely enjoyed it for sure. I did not walk away going, yeah, I wasted my money. Steven says my kids really want to see it. It's good. Supposedly it is a book adaptation. I don't read books. You guys have seen me read. Sounds awful. Um, it's worth seeing. I don't think it's one that you'll walk away going, "Well, I wasted my money." Is it as good as is it as good as Interstellar or better? Um, it's been a long time since I've seen Interstellar, and I think Interstellar. I know I watched it at home, and I think it was one of those ones where because I had my phone out or whatever, I wasn't that into it. When you're in a movie, you can't take it. You can't take your phone out. Just go see it, Crow. You're retired. You don't work, dude. Go see it. You have nothing else to do. But again, I don't think anyone will walk away. You'd have to be a curmudgeon to be like, this is awful. Is it as good as Barbarella? I don't know, but it's funny that you say that because in one of the episodes of 90210 that we just happened to watch, they had the new RA stand there without her knowing and hold something, and it made her look like that. So, yeah. It's on the same lines as Barbarella. We'll say that. Let's see here. Russell Lemieux jumping in saying, within the next 10 years, they will send the astronauts on a one-way trip. Possibly. Project Hail Mary needs to be seen in the IMAX. Yeah, I didn't see it on the IMAX. Yes, Roman, do you want something? He needs something. I wonder if any kid will come in here to take care of him, or do I have to call for them? Hold on. Let me make a call. I'm going to pause this here. All right. Someone's coming. Christy says, now I'm going to go see it. I stopped taking orders a while ago. Mr. Punky Punk. Oh, now I'm not going to go. Hey, well, don't see it. That's Tony will tell you he loved the movie. So James Fonda is still a smash. That's still a cunt. Anyway, all right, we're gonna get into some news, but before we do, I need to take a breather. As most of you know, I talk way too much, and let's hear from this guy.
And now back to Cobra News Now.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have received word that our field correspondent, Scrap Iron, is on scene at Mars Industries, and he has interviewed a few eyewitnesses and forwarded those statements over to us as he tries to get closer for a better vantage point on the fire. So let's take a listen to these eyewitness statements and see if we can discover what has happened here tonight.
All right, so I'm out here just ripping this mini ramp that's made by Mars Industries. Don't ask, I don't understand why they sponsored it. But anyway, I hear this huge explosion, and I hear all these people yelling and screaming that this thing's on fire, and they tell me to call 911, so I call 911. We got the ESU police here, and we got the firefighters, and wait a minute, don't you work for Mars Industry and the Iron Grenadiers too?
Oh yeah, that's a wicked fire, eh? Good bonfire for burning the moose on. Kind of reminds me, it reminds me of the one that we did at Justin Bieber every year at Stratford Festival. Just as much smoke, big flame. We do that to keep Sasquatch away. What'd you do yours for, eh?
Yeah, how you doing? I was walking down the street, hanging out, minding my own business. About to sit down on the park bench here and just enjoy my meal here. I got a nice little delicious lunch made by my wife, my lovely wife. She's a great cook. Sometimes not the best, but listen. We all suffice, right? And I'm sitting here on the bench about to open up my lunch box after a long day of working with construction workers. If you haven't noticed, I got this hard hat on, right? And I'm sitting here chilling. And next thing you know, I smell burning. And I go, what is that? And then the explosion, the loud, boom! I'm like, oh, what the hell was that? What's going on? You sound like Aaron Judge cracked a home run. I'm freaking out. I look up, and Mars Industries is on fire. And I'm like, yo, what the hell is this? The building just blew up. It's on fire now. And no one can have any answers. Nobody has any answers. Next thing you know, the fire shows up. The cops show up. Nobody knows what's going on. But damn things for sure, that building blew up. Now listen, I ain't no conspiracy theorist, but I'll tell you this. The owner of that building, he wears a metal helmet. Who's wearing a metal helmet? Just to do business. Something don't smell right. You understand what I'm saying? That building, that was an inside job. You can quote me on that. Thank you for having me on the news. I've never been on the news before. This is fantastic. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. And before we go, I want to shout out some people. My man Shane, my man Woody, my man Mike. I appreciate you all. Take it easy, guys. I appreciate you. I'm on the freaking news right now. This is fantastic.
Well, that was certainly something. So let's see if we can check back in with Scrap Iron and see if he's been able to locate Destro or the Baroness, find out the cause of this fire. Over to you, Scrap Iron. Scrap Iron. Scrap, are you there? Looks like we might be having some technical difficulties, and oh my God. Oh, I'm going to have to go over there now.
Spoiler alert, what happens at the end of Project Hail Mary is what you just saw there. The whole ship just blows up and then just ends, credits just rolling. It's no, seriously, if you look, there's a lot of people actually giving it some good basically everyone that's seen it is saying you need to go see it. So again, I know what I like isn't always what other people like, 90210 stuff like that. Oh, that was one other thing that I forgot to mention. I think I have it right here. Hold on. Well, Ed and I stopped at Ollie's. Ed happened to find these books, and I was like, "Oh, dude, this is actually pretty cool, right?" So, time to get them. I'll do a little sliding all over. And you're probably like, "Why do you turn this off?" Because you're supposed to turn the camera off when you move around. It's like that 101 thing. Anyway, so we found for $5 this Masters of the Universe book. I paid a lot more for the G.I. Joe one, and it's a pretty cool book. It goes through the years and a lot of the actual like toys and stuff. Talks about them. Really, really cool book. Like $5, I'll pick it up. But then Ed happened to notice this action or this figure fantasy. Now, I don't know if this guy does AI and he changes some of the figures, but it's actually, they're really cool. A lot of G.I. Joe and a lot of Star Wars in it right there, right? I feel like a school teacher, like, oh, look at this here. Batman, but there's a lot of different ones. Now, I sat down to watch it at the I was sitting down to look at it at the hotel. And as I'm flipping through it, I saw something and I didn't notice it at first, but I saw this page. Now, I do this still to this day, and it creeps Olivia out. It is from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. This is where they all lose their voice, and there's like 9 of these guys, I think, and they just walk around. I'm sorry, they float around, and that's what they're doing. And I just happened to catch this. So I got home, and I had to show her the book, and I'm like, look at this. And we get to I'm like, look at this page here. And she just flips it over. But yeah, it was cool. And the MOTU book is cool. Funny that you say that. And again, what made me think about this is Masters of the Universe right here. Anyway, I put this in here because BBTS put all of this stuff up for sale. Like I mentioned, I found He-Man, Triclops, and Man at Arms all at Walmart. Spec at the MOTU store found all those figures, including Skeletor and Trapjaw. And I'm really interested in Skeletor. I think he looks good. I didn't buy the other ones. I'll probably pick up Skeletor. I like the way he looks. Battle Cat looks awesome, but I'm not spending $45. But these are all in stock right now at BBTS, Entertainment Earth, places like that. Like this stuff just went up. Like we had talked about this stuff, but usually they do a pre-order and it was just like in stock. Like Delta 17. It's just in stock right then. So. But yeah, this is again some pretty cool stuff. I really like the Skeletor too, the cape. Spec says this might be the best Trapjaw. I don't know. The Masterverse Trapjaw is pretty badass. I think the He-Man looks good. Same with Man at Arms and Triclops. I'm just not interested in them. I want a more classic looking He-Man, but I like the Skeletor. And I have no problem mixing and matching a movie universe with, the cartoon universe or any other universe they're making. But obviously when you have likenesses to a real person, sometimes things get a little murky when you're trying to mesh them. Sean Forrester says Trapjaw is fantastic. So he looks good. But I have a Masterverse one that is downstairs in a box that I'm like, I got him. I still have Trapjaw and I still have Beastman all out. Oh, I still have Beastman. He's the only one's out. So I need to do a little Master of the Universe shelf again. So anyway, if you're interested, these are available now. Like I said, we're BBTS and I think even Big Nerdy has them. So, all right, Mafex. They are dropping a new Batman. And now this is a remake of it. I was actually watching Robo Don't Know or the Rewind, whatever he calls it, Robo. And it sounds like maybe the Kryptonite staff is new and the broken helmet is new. Something like that. I don't remember the first one. It looks like he has a denim jean cape. I'm not a huge fan of this Batman look. It has that Iron Man Mark 1 look to it. So not a huge fan of how this looks. But if you are, then go get it. Hopefully, it will scale with the DC universe. I'm sorry, the Mattel DC universe when it comes out. So, Bobby Wold is sitting here saying, "Wait a second, where is Molar, the greatest hero of Eternia?" I will say this: there is one specific character that we have made fun of. I made lots of fun of it. I made fun of it a lot. It probably makes more sense. In the Origins line, that I'm pretty sure it's where they got the idea for the alien. Oops. In Project Hail Mary. I guess it's not really a secret, but and I wish you all saw it because I would love to talk about how bad it is. Stanley says Ram Man was my first and only MOTU in the 80s. Well, if that was my only one too, I probably never buy another one either. All he did was jump up and down and his arms went like this. I probably would have never got another one either. Russell Lemieux says Batman vs Superman was completely trash. I remember being all excited and bam, it was like, what the fuck is this? It's not my favorite movie. It has some decent parts. It should have been so much better. It should have been so much better. Like, I've always been a Marvel guy. But Batman's my favorite, like, superhero. But I've always been a Marvel guy, but I can admit, like, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman are probably the three most popular superheroes of all time. Maybe not now with, the MCU doing what it's done, but those three are probably the most popular. You didn't need to cram them all in one movie to kick it off. It made no sense. But anyway, Russell, you don't have to buy this. and his jean cape, his denim cape. Although I like the way the cape looks, even though it looks like it's like ripped from a jean jacket. Then we have The Boys. Now, I've never finished watching The Boys. I started watching The Boys. This is Butcher, and they butchered his face. Like I said, I haven't watched the last few seasons. Did Carl Urban, I think I'm saying his name right, did he get fat? Because he's got a fat face here. Everything else looks pretty cool. I like the way he looks, but he looks fat. I mean, I like the trench coat. I like the Chuckles looking shirt. I like the M4, although it looks like it might be a little small. But the face, there's something wrong with the face. And you can look at all these. It's like, all right, it's not just one head. It's all the heads make it look like they were smushed. It looks better than Falcon, but that's not saying very much. 3 stars says he looks like 1995 Kevin Smith. Yeah, I can kind of see it. You have to have longer hair, but I can definitely see the round face for sure. But yeah, this is again, if you want it, it's go get it. I'm still gonna make fun of it. Yeah, he's a badass Judge Dredd. What is that? Once again, this is Tony. If you ever watch him on Circle of Jerks, all of a sudden we'll be in the middle of a conversation and he'll start showing off a toy that has nothing to do with anything that we are talking about. You were supposed to keep him downstairs.
I need to do homework. I need to study.
So you should have been able to leave him down there for a little bit. But go ahead.
Leave him
Thank
down
you.
there. Did you not see how I just busted into your room?
Well, you sit down there for a couple seconds. But anyway, he's fine. Anyway, thank you. Thank you for taking care of me. But here you go. Again, if you are interested, you can go get it. 3-star says, I'm not sold on him playing Johnny Cage, but I'll be happy to tell you this weekend. Well, go see it. Actually, I would go see Project Hail Mary. But anyway, if you want the figure, if you think it looks good, don't let me making fun of it persuade you. Or do. I don't care. But here are the weapons that he does come with. I do like the weapons. They look pretty decent. But probably not for the price of a Mafex. And then here's all the other little accessories. So as someone who's gotten more into collecting, obviously, but more into photography, man, you start seeing accessories and you're like, ooh, what could I do with all of these? I think you're right. It looks a little bit more like Lenny than Carl Urban for sure. All right, so here we have I forget what his name is. Now this is another repaint, but I think they gave him either a different head or they added the eyes. I think that's what Robo was saying. This looks weird. I don't remember if he made a weird face like this. I remember that he is Homelander. Thank you. He's sadistic. And I got to say, the idea of the boys is very interesting. You know, the fact that, like, what if people had superpowers and they weren't goody two shoes like Superman and Batman, right? Like, they could do whatever they wanted. And yeah. Yes, I know Tony. He loves breast milk. I'm not sure why Tony felt the need to say that while holding this, but but here's all the faces that you're gonna get with him. I don't think he looks bad. I think he looks pretty much like the actor. But you got this nice cape, which is soft goods, and especially for the price of a Mafex. It is interesting that to use the eye blast, it has to have its own stand. Like, they couldn't give you a head that was made for an eye blast that you just plug into it. I mean, how even Marvel Legends can do that, but hey, whatever. And Crystal Horn says, boo homework. That's going back to Olivia. If you're just tuning in and going like, what are you talking about? But anyway, that's it. That's all the stuff right there. So Cressio Crow says, when you get to Starlight, if it's fucked up, it's probably more accurate than these ones are. All right, so I actually found out about that by talking with Adam Vale, who I do the TV terminal with. And he was telling me all about it. And he's like, yeah, the actress that plays Starlight, she started getting all this facial surgery, started doing all this, changing her face, which doesn't make any sense because she was a fucking beautiful fucking woman. He's like, she looks nothing like what she did when she started the show. And it's not like she was in a car accident. She just started, massacring her face. And I'm like, shut up. And he's like, yeah, but like, they didn't know what to do. They're like, we're just going to act like it never happened. We're just going to continue on with, the story. Like, we're not even going to address it because, there's no reason to address it. It wasn't like she was in a car accident or a motorcycle, like where they had, and it was before we were recording. So I started going through it and I'm looking at it and I'm just like, holy shit. Like, if you would have shown me that was her, I would have been like, well, they got a different actress. She looks nothing the same. I know on the Umbrella Academy, when I can't think of her name, the one that transitioned, the one that played Kitty Pryde, the Umbrella Academy was such a unique and weird story. That was something they were able to explain within the story, why she went from a she to a he. So that was something you could explain. This is just someone who carved up their fucking face, who was absolutely fucking beautiful. Like, she was like super cute and super hot. But okay, yeah. So not okay. Jennifer Grey made the nose go away, so she actually looks better. She just doesn't look like Jennifer Grey. But it would be like doing Dirty Dancing as a TV series, and then all of a sudden her nose is changing, but nobody is addressing it. But yeah, it's go look it up. Look up what Starlighter, is that her name? Like before and now, and you'll be like, holy shit, dude. It's messed up. And I only know this because Adam had mentioned it because we were talking about the boys and everything. You can fix her, Lawrence. Kitty Pryde and Juno. Yeah, it's safe to say there will not be a Juno 2. But what the hell's her name? Or his name? I'm sorry. And I know it too. Yeah, safe to say he will not be returning as Kitty Pryde. That would be my guess. Someone is going to say what his name is now. But anyway, Grizzlehorn says she has Graves' disease. Elliot Page, thank you. And it was Ellen Page, so thank you. Thank you. I'm you guys are all like on cue, like. And Viper Scout has jumped in here. But anyway, it was just something that was brought to my attention, and since it got brought up. So anyway, Haya has dropped. People should stop trying to do Sylvester Stallone faces because, man. So here we have Rocky 4, and I don't know, man. Just not a good look at all. Not a good look at all. I'm not a fan of this. I'm sorry, I still see Al Pacino more than I see Sylvester Stallone. We determined that on the Rambo figures. I heard really good things about the Rambo figures. Then I also saw Shark Eyes reviews do a review on the Universal Soldiers, and he was pretty disappointed. Stanley says Lark Voorhees, Lisa Turtle, and Saved by the Bell is unrecognized. Yes. When I saw pictures of her, but it wasn't during the series. Like if it was during Saved by the Bell, you'd have been like, "What the fuck?" Right? 90210, you could have explained it perfectly, right? They said it, so much money, and they started massacring their face. That would have been a great arc. I wish Donna Valentine would have gotten it. Anyway, and Baldy says he wants this because he likes Al Pacino as a boxer. So, if you want this, now it does come with some pretty cool accessories. That is something that I'm going to definitely say. The Crusty Crow says Big Boy just got 3% cooler just now. Well, he was supposed to be the foil to Big Boa. So there you have Balboa with his pulled up socks. I don't think this looks good. Like I do. Haya has a hard time getting faces normally, especially with smaller figures. But again, and this is Rocky 4. He had some. This is a guy that had a little work done, right? Like I think we all can agree with that. He's had a little work. But this is everything that he does come with. I mean, you get, part of a ring, you get the robe, you get the stool. Somehow they make the stand look like you're getting something that would be part of it, but it's really not. And Debo, yeah, Haya cannot do faces. Yes, I'm with you. Tatsi says this looks so bad. Al Pacino as Bull. Yes. I think we brought that up before when we were looking at the Rambo stuff. That if they did Rocky, and it looks like Al Pacino, and I didn't see the Al Pacino till it got mentioned, and then you're like, oh shit, I can't not see Al Pacino. But again, if you want it, it's yours. Go get it. I will not be there. Stanley says Stallone wouldn't license his likeness out. I guess that changed. I have no idea. I've never heard that. I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just saying I've never heard that. But High has done, the Rambos. They've done this. So, all right, Star Wars. So I didn't realize, again, I was in training all week, so I did not realize that there was a drop. And I was also driving home all day on, after the training on Friday, I was driving home all day. So Star Wars and Marvel Legends had a drop. So there is this guy, whatever his name is. He's from the Mandalorian in Grogu. Looks interesting. Nice soft goods cape. I gotta say this. Whoever took over doing Star Wars and Star Wars Black Series, they have really started doing a better job. And we saw this going back into last year when we started seeing different articulation points with the wrists. Like, hey, let's make the wrist better because these lightsabers, they can get better poses. Like double knee joints, and they started making a lot of changes. I think the ankle rockers were something that changed. They changed a bunch of stuff. So I'm glad for Star Wars collectors because they deserve it too, right? Pop Linder jumping in and say, you can't win Rocky, says Adrian in every movie until she's dead in Creed. Remember that. But it is cool that, they show him kind of dropping this here. And you can see where his pistol is. This is the droid that I think if you've watched the trailer, Grogu picks up and I think destroys. So they're probably looking at this as a 2-pack. It's not. It's just a little robot with him. So, and let's see. Lost Ranger jumping in. I finally got my George Lopez figure. Am I missing something? Why do you have a George Lopez figure? What am I missing? All right. Marvel Legends comes out of the gate and drops a brand new day Spider-Man Hulk, which I guess cat's out of the bag that Mark Ruffalo will be turning into the Hulk at some time in Spider-Man Brand New Day. I believe this was like $45. I don't know if it is a new mold or not. This is the perfect place where it's like you should have had a cloth goods shirt. All right, that is clearly plastic, right? I'm not. That is a rubber or plastic shirt that he's wearing. This should have been a soft goods. He does come with the spider web, so clearly there is a fight between him and Spider-Man. Again, kind of ruining. Like we know this is gonna happen now. But you kind of see Mark Ruffalo, but it doesn't really look as much. And this is the one, like faces like this, you have a bigger head sculpt. There's specific animation to it. They usually can get stuff like this right. So I have no need for this. But if this is something that you want, again, if you're an MCU guy, then go get it. Lost Ranger says, does anyone else hate the Ruffalo Hulk face? I'll just say that the Hulk movie, that face looked way better. In Avengers, I didn't mind it. I could see it that's Mark Ruffalo and it made sense. But you go back to the Hulk movie. Is it the Incredible Hulk? I forget which one was part of the timeline and which one is in the one with I can't think of his name either. The guy from American History X. That Hulk didn't look like him. And they should have kept that face. But yeah. Tebow says, I did that face too. Ed Norton, thank you. But that Hulk didn't. It did the Incredible Hulk. Thank you. I can't remember Incredible. Was the other one Invincible Hulk? I forget what the other one was. But that didn't look like Ed Norton. They could have kept that face sculpt, and I think that was a better. That would have been better continuity because they clearly made it. Made like, hey, that is part of it. We even saw it in. Was it Avengers or was it Iron Man 2 where you see the Hulk like smashing the tanks and everything? So I would have been perfectly happy with that. But here's everything that you're going to get. And again, so.
Is Roman not up here?
He's right over there.
Oh, okay. I didn't see him up first.
Oh, okay. He's on the other side of my bed, hiding. Okay. Angeles was just the Hulk, or just Hulk, which is not a really good movie. It has some interesting parts. I will say that it has some interesting parts, but it gets so campy and so cartoony. But the tank scenes and everything. Cressio Crow says the Eric Bana Angeli Hulk is coming, baby. Get ready for it. But anyway, you can see the stuff that he does have. So all that stuff that you were seeing is not just what comes with Spider-Man. So this is a pretty good picture here. And so this is a brand new day Spider-Man. Here we go, brand new day. Again, I know people will lose their mind when they see another Spider-Man. But, come on. You got to have Spider-Man. Now, the thing I got to say about this is if it can get this pose, it's pretty good. I have a feeling that anyone that gets this will probably struggle to get this pose. I mean, he is crouched pretty low. He has a knee, a toe, a flat foot, and both hands on the ground, and he's looking pretty much straight at you. Now, again, if you're looking at this, there is a reason why there is no ground. There is a reason why there is no ground. And it's because they tried to manipulate it in this pose. Like, you're never really going to get this like this. This is something I would assume I could get my maximum Spider-Man to do. But, I think this looks really good. So if you're one of those people and you're like, hey, you know what? I didn't get the maximum Spider-Man. If it can get in that pose. So this is one that I might actually get when I see it. I do like getting the MCU characters. I don't think they're the greatest figures at all. There is such a difference between the MCU Marvel Legends and what I call the proper Marvel Legends. I didn't believe it until I started doing reviews, and I'm like, there is a difference, man. And I'm talking about quality, articulation. I think most of them don't have either the boot cut or the thigh cut. And you can see on this one, it doesn't look like he has a boot cut. He has a thigh cut, I can see. So I wonder if those poses are attainable. But I think the figure looks good. And Debo said the same thing. Sounds like a Joe Fest contest. Are you talking about posing a Spider-Man? Who can get into that pose? Oh, shit, dude. Well, I think, Derek, I think that if we're going to do that, we all need to check and see what is the closest hospital and exactly how many rooms are open at that time. Because I can tell you that I may be able to get into that pose. Like many of you, it's getting out of that pose. That's where the if you mean by stretch first, if you mean start stretching now and do it every single day, then yes. And Cookie with Eric says, rushing to grab my Max Spider-Man. I believe so. Looking at this, I believe the Maximum Spider-Man, you can do this. I mean, I got him in a close pose like that. It's a different pose, but pretty close. I mean, that's again that Maximum Spider-Man. You know, again, people bagged on it, and then once people started getting it, they're like, "This is a really good Spider-Man." So, but anyway, if you want it, that I mean, I love this pose too. I think this one really fits. So, but if you want it, I'm sure it's going to be available at Target and everywhere else. So get ready for it. It's brand new day. Super Davin jumping in saying Spider-Man doesn't have ribs, so he can contort like that. Thanks, Todd McFarlane. And he says mine's been hanging upside down since I got him. I got mine in a pose that I really like, and I don't want to take him out of it. So that is one of the worst things about being an action figure collector is when you get a pose you really like and you're like, I really like this fucking figure. Should I just buy another one so I can keep this one in the pose? Because it's like the moment you get it out of that pose, you're like, son of a bitch, I'm never going to get it back in there again, no matter how hard you try. So anyway, here you are. If you're interested, it is up for pre-order. It dropped on Friday. Like I had no idea, or else I would have posted links to it. I just happened to look. I'm like, what the hell is this? Lost Rangers. Yep, that's why you buy two. But then what happens if you get a second pose you like really? Financially it still becomes a problem eventually. The worst thing is I do have a second Maximum Spider-Man downstairs that I've never opened up. That's what happens when you order from multiple places. Sometimes you get fucked with more than one. So anyway, all right, on to some G.I. Joe, and then we'll get into the topic. So listen, I don't think we're making it 3 hours, although I don't have to make it 3 hours. It's not like I get paid to do 3 hours. All right. So BMAC last week, I believe it was Friday, actually. Yes, rip Lenny. We will have a eulogy for Lenny at the end. MCR, please don't leave. So BMAC, he mentioned that Grand Slam is coming. I think we all knew Grand Slam was eventually going to come. He is a very similar make of somebody who we already got the laser rifle for. Grand Slam event originally came with the HAL, the heavy artillery laser. But he also came with silver pads and the jetpack in 1983. So if you're looking for the OG-13, which is what everyone is talking about, this one doesn't make sense because technically this came out in 83, not 82. This was the one that came out in 82. I will say this, that always drove me nuts that Grand Slam looks completely different on the packaging than his face sculpt. Not that he looked just like Grunt. or a few other figures, but that he didn't look like this. So, my question is, do you think that we are going to get the red or the silver? Do you think he's going to be on a card, or do you think they will give you either a Hal, or do you think that they'll give a jump jetpack, right? The jump. Now we already got jetpack, so all we need is the jump. I would assume that it's got to come eventually, right? This is such an easy thing to do. I have a 3D, a 3D printed one, and you just use the regular jump, jetpacks. I don't need any of those. And this is something anyone can print, like 3D print. It's pretty simple. The hell is something different. Now, again, think about it. We do have, not everyone. Some of you guys didn't want to order the vamp, and then you lost your minds when it was sold out, and now it's like $300. But we do have the MMS. Oh my goodness. We have the MMS. So I wonder if, they always talk about future-proofing stuff. If they're going to do a Hal, if they're going to do a Whirlwind, are they just going to use that base? Now, I will say that if they do this, and let's say then they also do a Whirlwind, and they also do the, what was the Cobra one that's set up? I would assume that they are going to use the same type of base. Now, whether or not it's the exact same base as before, who knows? But, it's an interesting question whether or not, they said we're getting, we're getting Grand Slam. Is he coming, by himself or with this? I feel like other than, Steeler, they've given you stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to come with this or the jump pack. And again, jump pack is, that whole system. It's something really easy to do. The ASP. Thank you very much. And J Soul Art says way more likely the jump pad. But see, they talked about, my thing is they specifically talked about the OG13. So would you do a jump pad with red pads, or would you do it with silver pads? Who really knows? Devil Dog jumping in saying silver flak and jump pad. Silver flak with jetpack and jump pad. 3-star says silver. I hope Flash doesn't have a different look. I hope silver. I don't need the jump pack, but they gave us Hawk with the MMS, so might as well go for nostalgia's sakes. It would be. I think you would have different. I think there would be different color red for sure. It's not going to be the exact same. And this wasn't the exact same red either. All those original characters, they had some uniqueness to it for sure. Jamie Garcia says the ASP. I love that one. I hate the ASP. I'll be 100% honest. I hope if they do it, they make it better so the character doesn't just flop around in it. That's why I never really liked it. Todd C says they can lock each of them in a $100 package and call it a day. Well, it'll be $110 because that's a new price point. So, this is one of those things where there's two OG13, as so many people like to say, that, what you're looking at is they've already said Grand Slam is coming. We've seen the weapons for Flash. If you don't think Flash is coming, then I think you're an idiot. I might think you're an idiot even if you do think that it's coming. But that is neither here nor there right now. Gun Bunny says, I like to get both. One will have to be for retro card version. Yeah, the jump pack is one of those things where I think not everyone had it. Not everyone had the jump in the silver pads. Clearly, with that price, it's a hefty price to get the original silver one, because those ones I think shot up like crazy because there weren't nearly as many. But this is, again, it's interesting that this is what we're going to be seeing. What they that they're giving us Grand Slam, and whether or not, again, we had Steeler, he came in a, in the 2-pack. I think a MOBAT is very difficult to do. Be much more expensive. And again, depending on how true to form a MOBAT would be, it carries one character. That'd be a high price item to have one figure and a big shelf eater. So, but there you go. What do you guys think? Do you think we're getting a jetpack, a jump with it? Do you think we're getting a HAL? Do you think we're getting carded? Could they do a 2-pack with Flash and Grand Slam? They already got the weapons, right? So is that something that they'd be willing to do? They did it with, Flash and Short Fuse. I'm not Flash and Short Fuse. Short Fuse and Steeler. So, but yeah, I think it will be interesting. Victor says Cobra Pogo. I just quickly got to do this here.
Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. You gotta understand, man. I never even saw these assholes before.
I'm Flash, and this is my brother Flash. Yeah, pretty much. Todd C says it'll be 110. They were throwing stuff we don't need to justify the price. But then you're going to bitch if they don't give you the stuff, right? And again, I know everyone bitches about the $110 price point, but Ramen just announced that they have their second version of the Ramen van, which is like $170, I think, $160, and it doesn't come with anything, and people are fine buying it. So once again, we're seeing people don't have an issue spending that much money on a price point. Jamie Garcia says, hoping they'll release the jetpack. I fear the hell with Grand Slam will be 70 to 80. Maybe jetpack set will be only 50-ish. Well, I think you're looking at the $80 price point if you did a HAL, because you look at what the MMS with Hawk was. It started off at 75. It went up to 80. I guess maybe a little bit more. I'm not trying to say that would be awesome, but again, it makes sense. It just totally makes sense. Flash and Grand Slams have a different deco. Flash has brown and Grand Slam has black gloves and other bits. Yeah, they're not the exact same at all. There are differences. It's again, and you know this, Matthew. It's just the aesthetics, But yeah, there would be again a lot of those OG figures are the exact same. But anyway, more patches. As the extras. I can tell you for a fact, a 100% fact, from Lenny himself, and I'm sure he'd tell you, he was not happy about the patches. He knew that it wasn't going to go over well. But again, you work in corporate America, you kind of have to do what they say. And that was their way of trying to get a figure out. And they learned pretty quickly people are not happy about that. Max Phobia. I'm hoping for the laser, but I'd go for a jetpack with a launch pad. That'd be sick. Well, quickly.
Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. You gotta understand, man. I never even saw these assholes before.
The jump is such an easy thing for them to do. Again, it all takes tooling, but it's a very easy tool. And it's something that, again, I have a 3D printed one. It's pretty flat. They can be made so easily. I'm sure, I don't know if Plastic Fantastic is still here. I know he's made them. I'm assuming Debo, you probably made them. It's an easy thing to print, and you can find the file fairly easily. My buddy Greg, he made me one. It's very solid, and it works. And you just plug in the jetpacks that we already have, and you're good to go. But yeah, so Victor said after the Cobra Pogo, they need to make the Cobra Buzz Bore. So those are two vehicles. Not only did I not have as a kid, now it's coming out of. That's when I was deciding between GI Joe and skateboarding. But they're two things that I never went back and tried to get. I hate them. Todd C says Hasbro been making bad moves with toys, sadly. Even Transformers are filled with reissues with lower quality plastic and higher prices. Well, the prices are not going away. That is an unfortunate truth. There are legitimate reasons that the prices are high. My issue with this is that, and I've said this numerous times, the only way under normal circumstances that prices will go down is if they kill the line and start it over. I got to say this, you go look at the Master of the Universe core, they are now $10. I look at them, they look to be the exact same points, articulation as the Origins figures, but they're $10. They're 5.5. So kind of crazy that again they killed the line and they call it something different. But it's one of those things that I feel like they don't do. And that's my worry. I understand why things go up, but it's kind of like eggs, right? Like eggs were over $5 not too long ago. I bought eggs this weekend. They were like $1.44. So again, food is one thing that goes up and down. Other things, you don't see it till they kill a line and they start all over. It's just, it's disappointing, I guess is the best way to say it. Victor says, sorry, I want a Pogo. Might be the worst vehicle, but I just want it for the novels. And you know what? You are more, and if they make one, I will buy one. I have no issues with people. I mean, I will tell you that I think that it's stupid, but that's my opinion. And I tell people that I think something is stupid because I want the kickback. I want them to be willing to stand up and just say, fuck you, dude. I think the Buzz Bore is awesome. It's so not. But I do remember Cobra Commander, Battle Armor Cobra Commander, if I remember correctly, being in it. And it was also pretty cool what George Lucas did with General Grievous with it. Yes, now I am shilling for eggs. Super chats for eggs. For every $1.44 super chat I will buy a dozen eggs and give one egg to Toys for Tots. I won't, because the eggs won't be good anymore. Todd C says BMAX said the best hasn't been shown yet, so there's that hope. All right, well, we're gonna get into that in a second here. Jamie Garcia says there was a comic with Fred and Raptor and Cobra Commander testing the Pogo. I remember that. I thought it was cool. I did not, but I'm glad someone did. Max Phobia says, I just hope whatever they do with Grand Slam, I hope it's not as lanky as the All Striker, or I'll be going back to Gridiron yet again. I have no issues with the All Striker. I was actually talking to Krusty O'Crow today about it, and I don't think that you want the exact same thing. I again, that's just me. I don't want the exact same thing. The All Striker is different. People had a lot of issues with the All Striker that they shouldn't have, and I showed in my review, like, don't push down on the cage, hold the bottom, and then push the cage down. It'll snap into place. The top piece, that is meant to come off fairly easily, but people try to push it down. And not only does it have rubber wheels, but it also has shocks, so you don't get pressure without threatening to actually break it. But that's just me. So anyway, those are coming. But we're going to talk about what happened at Hasbro, where the GI Joe line is going. Is it going to be a disaster? Are we going to survive? Will G.I. Joe be around? But before we do, we're going to take a short little break. If I can find something to play, I have all these things to play. You think that I would know exactly where they are? See, this is me. I'm wasting time. For the love of God, yeah, I need to label these a little bit better. Oh, here it is.
Idiots! Incompetent buffoons! What is it now, Commander? Consummate morons, incapable of coherent thought! Are you watching that show again? Yes. Why didn't you just watch Pop Blender and Matthew's discussions, news, reviews before the show came out? Whether you agree or disagree, the perspectives provide enough context to know if the show or movie is worth your time or not. Yes, I know. I will not miss another Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central on Pop Blender's channel. Be more than once a man by watching Pop Blender and Matthew talk about pop culture, news, discussions, and reviews on Tuesday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. And now you know. Televiper, be sure to hit like, share, and subscribe so we do not miss another episode, and hit that bell notification.
Fired? Have you recently lost your job with a major toy manufacturer? Tariffs got you down? You may be entitled to sharing your story on a major media streaming outlet. We want you to dish the dirt. Call Circle of Jerks at 900-555-0979. We will exploit you for our personal gain. That number again is 900-555-0979. Circle of Jerks. Every client gets a cookie.
Okay, so quickly, I saw Victor had asked, Chester got roided up, and that's Sea Bison. So on Oz's Clubhouse one day, I had it behind me. He's still up there somewhere. And I wanted to see if the heads would fit. And he looked really fucking cool taking the extra head off of Chester Cheetah and putting it on M. Bison. And you can fit the hands on him, and he became an actual character, Sea Bison, kind of like Dr. Mindslaughter did for me as a kid. I don't know if you're new to the channel. My best friend and I, we did not like Dr. Mindbender or Sergeant Slaughter, so we took Sergeant Slaughter's arms off him, put him on Dr. Mindbender, got rid of the cape, and he became Dr. Mindslaughter. And he is a true character that I actually, kind of messed around and kind of kit bashed to make one for my classified. And I think I'm going to be doing it again with that Marvel Legends figure that recently hasn't come out yet. I think I'll wait to see if I find it at clearance. So, because I'm sure I will, because no one wants it. I don't even remember the name of it. So, yeah. So Max says that's a kit bash I would have never thought of. Again, it was truly, I was just literally sitting here at live stream. I don't know, we have like 8-9 people on, and I just started messing around. He's sticky tack for the neck peg. So Matthew did it for his, for his show. So anyway, make sure you tune in tomorrow. Circle of Jerks, 6:30ish over on Baldylocks, and then starting at 10 on Pop Channel, on Pop Blender's channel. Matthew and him do a show. So, all right. So, I have a week off. Thursday, I believe, Lenny announces that he's leaving Hasbro for Boss Fight Studios. I believe it was announced one day after Corey Cantaloupe, who also used to work at Hasbro and was laid off or let go. It was part of the layoffs. And he bounced around doing, he worked for Skeletron. He did stuff for Boss Fight. He still came back and he did work for Hasbro still. So Lenny decided to leave for whatever reason. None of us really know the reason. The thing that I do know is everyone says, no one retires from Hasbro, and that's one of those weird things. When people say they have 20 years at Hasbro, it's kind of like they're hanging on to it. But Lenny leaves, and if you go back and you look at the thumbnail that Baldy did for Circle of Jerks, it is Lenny laying out and Lady Serpentor holding him because he's dead. You would have thought the guy died. And I'm not joking. Like, the tributes that people had, the fear that literally, like, the guy left and G.I. Joe was just done. Like, it was like, he didn't invent G.I. Joe. If you may not know this, G.I. Joe was around before him. And I'm not taking away anything that he did, because he's made classified what it is. And hopefully they will stay on the same trajectory and bring someone in that has the same passion he does. Jay Solaris quickly says, I didn't like those two Joe characters, either Punk. I also couldn't watch the cartoon for its corniness. Yeah, the cartoon was fun as a kid. It's not nearly as good as the comic. And that's why I will sit there and go back to Larry Hama as the George Lucas of A Real American Hero. G.I. Joe was around before him, just like he was before Lenny. But the tributes, the things people are saying, some people that do YouTube shows, have YouTube channels, they did whatever they could to make sure you saw pictures of them with them so they could spotlight themselves. It's actually pretty ridiculous what some people will do just so that, people know that, oh my God, I interviewed him. I met him at a show. Like, a lot of people met him, and the guy didn't die. Like, he's alive and well from what I know. Like, he's gone to Boss Fight Studios. But the question is, what's going to happen now? Most figures are 18 months out. Now, that does not mean that they have 18 months worth of figures already done. It means that here's the characters. They're tinkering with them still because they're not ready. When I had Bill from Fresh Monkey Fiction, Big Bad Workshop, he talked about like how they're constantly making changes. And this is something that small companies can do easier than the big companies because they don't have to, make a mass amount. They're not even close to doing nearly as many as one Hasbro figure. And I don't want to talk about like Star Wars Black Series and Marvel Legends. I mean, G.I. Joe was small potatoes compared to that. But you're going to have people that are going to come in, and I think Dwight from the Marvel Legends team, I think he would be a prime candidate to bring in. And the reason why I say that is he's a G.I. Joe fan. Barrel Roll is designed after him. One of the females is based after his daughter, and I think his cousin or brother also has a character that they designed. They're huge G.I. Joe fans, and I think that it would be easier to get somebody to do Marvel Legends, as it is a much bigger property, contrary to what people want to say. It is a much bigger property than G.I. Joe. So if you have someone that loves G.I. Joe that's in-house, now I think they'll probably pull from different designers there. This is what they've done in the past, where you have multiple guys that are also working on the brand. Now, BMAC, in his statement, he talked about what they have in the line, all going through 2027 already. Not what they have, but do they have stuff going into 2027? Before Lenny left this earth, so unexpectedly, he's not dead. BMAX said, "Hey, we want at least 10 years out of this." And again, I don't see why that would be any different. MCR says, Punk, if you were put in charge of Classified, what would you do next? Man, if I was put in charge and financial restraints, there was nothing that is off the table, I would say that the next HasLab would be the whale. I know people don't want to hear that. I know they want to hear the fucking the hydrofoil or the moray. I do the whale. I've talked about it. It's big enough to be considered a display piece, and that is a true dream project. This is what I would do. And I know people go, "Oh, repaints." I want to see the OG-13 in tan. Well, you don't need Scarlet. She already has a tan color. You already have the Desert Storm or Desert Snake Eyes. You know you're going to get Grunt, and you know you're going to get Clutch. I want a tan OG-13. That's what I want. Something different. And the other thing that I would do, and I think they're doing this, is you got to start working with the Energon universe. Whether or not you are designing characters for them, or saying, hey, here's some characters, or they're saying, hey, here's some characters, you're going to them and designing. I don't care. You still want to build off a Real American Hero, but I would definitely be going to Energon. And I definitely would be sitting there going, okay, let's make this work. Because you need media, and that media is there for a reason. Jay Solowart says, Punk, do you think the less articulation, less accessory era is coming? No. Okay, first off, there's no reason to remove articulation unless you are changing the price point. Also, you don't lose articulation because of all these other companies that are eating into your profit. You have to keep up with them. The accessories is something that numerous people going down the road have always fought for. Emily really fought for it. Now, Emily's not technically the brand manager anymore. That's BMAC. Emily has an attachment to it, and she's been promoted. So I think that she will still come to the aid of that brand, because that brand is really what made her as popular as it is. I know there are people who loved her on Power Rangers, but that really did a lot. So, Jamie Garcia says, well, wasn't John Wharton responsible for the 3.75 Pursuit of Cobra Joe line? That gave us some good stuff. I believe so. Matthew would probably know better than I would. There is, again, there are a lot of people that have passion for it. That's the thing that they have to make sure that they hire, is someone they have passion for it. Now, if they bring in a young designer that has no passion for G.I. Joe, but you have someone like Tony and BMAC who do have passion for it, and they're the ones that are in charge, like they're the bosses, they're leading the way, then you're in good hands. But over the years, there have been numerous people that have been put in charge of that brand that love it, and they're going to do what they can to make it better. Is it going to be the same vision that Lenny has? No, because Classified so far has been all of Lenny's vision. Now, obviously, a lot of it comes from a Real American Hero. A lot of it's starting to come from the Sunbow. So will we see things change? Yes. Do I think Globulus is already pretty much done? I do. Not this year, but I believe that's a 2027. And that's what they need. Like they need to make sure if they have Globulus that they do not change it, because you want it to fit the aesthetic of what's already come with Cobra Law. And I don't think they will. So BMAC put out another, he put out that post, and he made it perfectly clear that the Weather Dominator means a lot to them. If you don't know who the Weather Dominator is, that's Lenny. I think a lot of that was done because there were certain people in the community talking about what a piece of shit Lenny is, and how there are more people that are happy that he's gone than you realize. And now these are people that have, agendas towards him. And I know this for a fact for some of them. And people, starting the narrative that Lenny didn't know anything about G.I. Joe. That's why it sucked. I don't know. G.I. Joe is the hottest, and it has been the hottest adult toy brand for like 2 or 3 years. So if that's him sucking and not knowing anything, well, good for him. There are people that have narratives that just want to push it. So we've had John Wharton. John Wharton talked about how stupid it is that people are saying this about him. Do I think everyone likes Lenny? No. There's no one that likes everyone. If there's one person that everyone fucking likes, it means that person is a fake motherfucker. You may not believe this, but there are some people that don't like me. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. A lot of people don't like me. So, I think BMAC put that out for a reason, to let you know, hey, the brand's going nowhere. It's strong. And I think, and I talked about this already, I think what shows that is that Hooded Cobra Commander is coming. All right. Hooded Cobra Commander is finally coming. Now, I did a video a long time ago. Other people have done a video. It's not like I had inside knowledge. This is all stuff Bobby Ballard talked about, what happened there. Mark Weber, he's talked about it because he was also there at the time. I've talked to Corey Cantaloupe about it. Lenny refused to talk about it, but I know that, he knows exactly, there was one guy that got in the way of Hooded Cobra Commander. And that's Lorenzo de Bonaventure. And as much as people might want to say, dude, the guy made shitty movies, it doesn't matter. He fucking said Hooded Cobra Commander would not be in there because he looks like the KKK. It got in the fucking heads of top guys at fucking Hasbro that said, we're not doing it because this is a PR nightmare. Well, now there's new management. There's new leadership. And that's why they're allowing it. The only reason I'm talking about it is because the secret is long gone. Like it's long. It's well out of the bag. Now people are going to say, you said that there will never be a Hooded Cobra Commander. I never said that. I said they cannot do Hooded Cobra Commander at this point. They have been told that they can't by Hasbro. Hasbro owns it. So when everyone went to Baron Zemo, everyone went to the Snow Troopers for Star Wars, saying I understand it looks more like it, but those aren't their properties. They're told what they can and can't do and what they have to do for certain things. So it seems like management has changed, and they see G.I. Joe as no longer the little engine that couldn't, but as this viable property. And if you're looking at the G.I. Joe toy, the Hasbro toy division, I would probably say as of now, it's probably Marvel, Star Wars. It might even be Transformers #1. Transformers, and then G.I. Joe is probably #4. Ghostbusters, Tron. I can't mention Tron. Power Rangers, Indiana Jones, all these, Dungeons and Dragons. They own all these properties. None of them are nearly to the strength of what G.I. Joe is. G.I. Joe, in my opinion, is firmly number 4 there. All right. I think it's the hottest adult brand. But again, you're looking at kids that still need to buy the stuff. And Marvel and Star Wars, no matter what you say, it's a bigger fucking brand. But it's one of those things. So as long as they have somebody in there that wants the brand to survive, I think hopefully they'll hire good people. And there's no doubt that if these guys are like, hey, this thing's making us money, and Hasbro is a corporation, they want to make money, right? Chrysler is a corporation, they want to make money. Ford, GM, Apple, like they don't throw something to a side because they have feelings that they might not like it. You have to be a true idiot for that. Stanley says Lenny could have always shown up there. He works for Boss Fight Studios now, though I don't think Boss Fight goes to Joe Fest. Ed, I don't think Boss Fight Studios is there, so I don't see Lenny being there. But here's the whole thing. I believe Lenny's not going to burn bridges. Okay? Corey Canflute, not going to burn bridges. Right? These people lose their jobs. Mark Webber, not burning bridges. Right? These are guys who worked at Hasbro. Because there's always a chance you end up back at Hasbro. There's always a chance you end up doing, contract work for them. Designing something for them. You burn bridges, you're fucked. Some people will eventually learn that. And I don't know why you'd want to burn bridges, right? But it's just, it's how it is. Now, would Boss Fight Studios let you? I would assume that there is a lot more leeway. I would assume Corey, who might be doing full-time work, I'm assuming he can still do work for Skeletron if he wants to. I should have a talk with Bill about that. I should see what Bill has to say. You said it. I just don't, again, I don't understand why you'd want to burn every fucking bridge with every single person in the fucking community. But that's here nor there, right? Or neither here nor there. But I think what we have is a lot of stuff coming. Now, I have no knowledge if the OG-13 is going to be done before the end of the year. But let's be honest, they've announced Grand Slam. We've already seen Flash's weapon, and I'm surprised that Flash has not been done yet. I think it's safe to say that Flash is probably coming before the end of the year, right? Logically, it just makes sense. I mean, it truly just makes sense logically that Flash is coming. Hey, there's his weapons. You've already molded them. Hey, look at this. There's Grand Slam. The exact same mold as Flash. Let's be honest. I think that one's coming. Dominic Johnson jumping in and saying, hey, Punk, how soon do you think we will see the products from the team without Lenny associated with it? 18 months. Most toy designers have talked about this. And again, I'll say it again. If you catch stuff when Bobby Bala is not insulting people, and having a vendetta, and he's talking about how products are made, development, design. He is a wonderful listen to, as he'll break things down that other companies won't. That is one thing that he is really good at, is being transparent about a lot of things. But we've also heard Lenny and other people, Marvel Legends, they've talked about it. Like that's where That's what Star Wars is always fucked. It's because Kathleen Kennedy would never let them know what's coming. So she's trying to keep everything secret. The Mandalorian comes out a year and a half later, 2 years later. Guess what? Now you're getting product from that series because it takes that long to develop it. George Lucas was the exact opposite. George Lucas was like, hey, here's what we're fucking doing. Put the shit out there because you know what? That made people go, whoa, what the hell is this character? Dude, I got to see him in the movies. Kathleen Kennedy, who was in charge of, Star Wars, she's an idiot. I don't say she wasn't. She's a fucking idiot. But anyway, so I think you're looking at 18 months. But now you'll see tweaks because not everything is fully done. And you'll probably start to see, things start to get designed a little more. Was I when I first heard the news, did it make me go, oof, this kind of worries me a little bit? It does. There's no doubt about it. It does worry me a little bit because I absolutely love the brand. I love G.I. Joe. People can sit there and say, there's certain people you won't buy from, but you'll keep buying from Hasbro. Hasbro is a corporation. They're not a one single entity. But the reason why I continue to buy from Hasbro is because I love fucking G.I. Joe. Okay? If G.I. Joe got sold off and BBTS, Big Bad Workshop, they started making it, I would buy it from them. If Boss Fight, I'd buy it from them. I would not buy it from everyone. Before anyone asks, I would not buy it from everyone. I will dig my heels in. I draw a line in the sand. Marvel Legends. I love fucking X-Men. And I love what they've been doing. So yes, I buy from Hasbro. People will buy, Conan. They love Conan. They'll buy shit from Conan because that's what they want and stuff like that. So, I love, again, I grew up on G.I. Joe. My kids are the most important thing to me. And then it's skateboarding. And then it's G.I. Joe. That's like the order of things that were of importance to me in my life. You notice I left out work. So yeah, I think we're looking at a good 18 months before you really start to see. Now you'll start to see, designs of other things, but it's those last figures. Now I've also heard people say all they're going to do is repaints now, which then made me say, oh, so we might get the OG 13 in Chan, which made me really excited. Okay, I left out Roman. I'm sorry. Thank you. Yeah, screw you. Your friendship is like 25th on my list too. I didn't put you 25th. Around 11, 12. Hey, there are days that many of you are above my kids. I just fucking get. Some days some of you are above my kids. What the fuck was I talking about? Random says 25th is being genuine. But yeah, so I think we'll start to see a shift, and that's going to be in the digital renders and stuff like that. But before we talk anymore, again, we have a half hour before these are gone. So if you are interested now, and he's in the chat right now, this is the guy that is building these crates. This is what you're going to get. Again, I don't think anyone wouldn't be happy with them. Everything that he put into them, everything that he's done, they look good in shots. You can go look at Ed's, Ed's Matthews, my pictures, Photog Damon. I think I'm saying that right. There's a Damon Photog. They look really good. And there is a link for it right now. Again, I'm thinking that was, I'm thinking I might have some at Joe Fest, but I can't promise you that. There is one person from Canada A who said, I want one. And I said, we'll get that taken care of. But I think I might have a few extra for sale if you're interested and you're going to be at Joe Fest. But when these things are off, I don't think we're going to bring these exact ones back. And I've even talked to him about it. And there's some different things that I would like to do. As I told you earlier, he was doing shorts of these and he got a great endorsement. He got a great endorsement from doing it. And I'm really happy that me pushing him to do these, because they're a lot of work for him. That's why you're seeing $18 a crate. I've said this before, people will whine and cry, but we spend so much money on toys. It's a lot of work for him, but he got a great endorsement and I'm super happy for him. So this is it. There's 30 minutes left, less than 30 minutes. So unless if he decides he wants to keep it open, but this is the end. So get them now or forever hold your peace and wait to the next one and then go, dude, I got a new box and it doesn't say I'm kind of a big deal. Well, I told you that's probably going to be gone. I'm just saying. So anyway, but seeing everything that happened with the whole Lenny thing and the eulogies, everyone that's ever had him on a fucking show other than me. Yes, and Matthew here saying, yes, the crates are awesome. It is Photog Damon, which he lives in my area. If you follow Sergeant Reds on Instagram, you'll see he sold a huge portion of his collection to him. I met him at Joe Fest. Super, super nice guy. Super nice guy. And the stories that he was telling with these, I was so happy. I'm like, that is more than I could have asked. And Ed and Matthew are putting out some amazing photos with him too. So I love to see him in the pictures. I told you my ego's fucking huge. It can only get bigger. It can't get smaller. No matter what, my ego is never going to get smaller. So you might as well help it grow. Now I have to have a really big hat at Joe Fest. But anyway, so they're doing a live stream. I believe they said, is it June 3rd for Yojo June, which means we probably won't get anything. just a bunch of fucking pre-orders. I do chuckle at what people think are coming, what people say are coming. We've heard people have leak lists that I've had no confirmation on any of that stuff. I've had no confirmation on any of the stuff that some of these people have thrown out on a leak list, which makes me think that people just kind of throw stuff out there. We've seen other people on islands, they do stuff like that. But there's a pipeline of stuff coming. And, Lenny was so big into the Thunder Machine. I have a hard time believing that a Thunder Machine isn't coming. I mean, I think you almost have to be an idiot to think that we're never going to get a Thunder Machine, as other than the Swamp Skier, you don't have to make anything else for the Dreadnoks. It's like they had Swamp Skiers and they had the Thunder Machine. No one really cared about anything else. Cobra has the Rattler, and they have the Rattler, the Trouble Bubble, more Trouble Bubbles coming, another Trouble Bubble coming. The Claw. Joe has their jump packs or their jet packs and the Dragonfly. I think that the natural progression is a smaller vehicle. And Fan's Hobby already showed, hey, you can do a Skyhawk perfectly, right? They've done a really nice one. As a matter of fact, I actually ordered the Not Fang, which I didn't want, but it was on sale at some place for $70. And I'm like, fuck it. $70, I'll get it. Never heard of the place. It's out of China, but it sounds like people are ordering from there. It was like 45% off, so I went for it. I don't know why. I have no room for this shit. But it's, there's still a litany of figures, and I don't see things. I really don't see it changing because there's still designers at Hasbro. And as long as they know the direction, they can pull people in. If BMAC and Tony are the guys spearheading it now, they can say, here's the book. Like, this is what we were doing. And the fact that it sounds like they're still friends with Lenny, it wouldn't surprise me if, he said, hey, yeah, this is what I'm doing. And maybe they, whoever's designing them now, they send it over to Lenny and, or, Tony or BMAC and be like, hey, is this close to what your idea was? Now eventually you have to shift away, but there are still certain characters and still certain groups that you want them all to have a very similar aesthetic. Jason Lord says, Punk, what should the post-Lenny direction of Classified be? Energon universe. So I think this line was never supposed to last more than 40, 50 figures. I truly do believe that. Emily's talked about it. Like, this wasn't supposed to be around. I think what they really need to do is set a specific number to end the numbers. If it's 250 or 300, we're over 200 now. So set it for 200 or 300. That's when you end the numbers. And then you move on to doing it. They're still classified, but now you can have the classified Energon figures. You can have the classified A Real American Hero. You can have classified Sergeant Savage, and you can number those ones, right? So, you're going to have your group of Sergeant Savage, right? You have those numbers. Energon universe, right? Sunbow, like, this is where they need to set it at a specific number. Don't do what The Walking Dead did, and I mean the comics and Kirkman, where he's just like, yep, we're done. And I think it was issue 97. He didn't even get to 100. He's like fucking Barry Sanders. I don't give a shit. That's where I think that they really need to do. Resolute is another good one, but the difference with Resolute, and maybe I'm wrong, an Energon universe is that Resolute is it's a finite amount of time. There isn't that many characters that you can do. You want to base stuff off media that you have, and that's what you have is Resolute. And I believe BMAC had mentioned, if I'm correct, I think BMAC mentioned about, also having worked on Mask. I would be shocked if I don't see Mask, the characters, in the classified line. They own the property. It is so it can be so tied in with G.I. Joe, and it is in many ways. And I'm not talking about the vehicles. I'm not talking about the vehicles, but the characters. I think that they would be missing a huge boat because I don't think Mask is nearly as big as so many people think. But you stick him in Classified and G.I. Joe, and it's like, all right, man, people are going to buy it. People are definitely going to go for it. So, but I do think Resolute, there's a place for it. I mean, if I talk about Sergeant Savage, right? Definitely Resolute. And if you're doing the Energon universe, right? If you're doing the Energon universe, you don't have to have a direction where someone like Lenny is trying to create new characters. And what I mean by that is, you have Sundown, right? Bees Battleground and Shark Eyes, they both have reviews of them up. You had Wolf Spider and Grim Viper. Now, I like those figures, but now you don't have to create figures with no lore. You already have a lore that you're pulling from the Energon universe. I don't read the Energon universe. Right? I don't read comics. It would get me in a bad place. And what I mean by that is financially, it'd be something more that I'm throwing money at. But you don't have to create new characters. The Energon universe is doing it. And from my understanding, there's already other characters that people want to see. I do think that they should still lean more into the comics. Quinn, I think Quinn is far overdue. Going to the cartoon, the Blind Master, not the Blind Master, Blind Woodsman. Dirty Knives quickly says, "Is it true a cartoon is in the works for Energon?" They were supposed to. And Kirkman was supposed to be working on it. I hope so, because they need it. I think they need multiple types of. I said before, G.I. Joe needs to have a Teen Titans Go type cartoon to bring little kids into it. All right. I don't care what everyone says. Teen Titans Go is amazing, right? The burrito song. Teen Titans Go is amazing. All right. Olivia can still sing the burrito song. Might take her a little bit this time because she hasn't done it in a while. But they need something with an adult style cartoon. So you go to these kids and then they can shift over as they get older and be like, oh shit, dude, this is actually pretty damn cool. And see, this is not true. See, told you he doesn't know how to read. You go watch my Agents of Omega and I read the whole back talking about it. So it's not true. I can read. I just don't read very well. But yeah, that's one of those things I think. You already have characters being made. People want to see it. I don't need the comic to enjoy the characters because we're still going to see characters pulled from my childhood. So I like to see both. And I'm on Facebook enough. I'm on the interwebs that I see more than enough people go, I have no attachment to this character. Yes, because it wasn't fucking around when you were a kid. That's why you don't have an attachment to it. It's not that hard to figure out why you don't have an attachment to it. You're an idiot. I'd like to call a lot of people idiots on Facebook, but I don't because some of them may watch the show. Yes, it is great. The light begins to shine. Song is fire too. Oh, you're talking to someone. So I would just say, hi, John. Hi, John. How you doing? Hurricane Live says, ARH issues 1 through 100, still hundreds of characters we need. And that's exactly it. Being asked about what I would like, I know most of you know, like, I'm not a huge fan of the cartoon as in canon wise. I enjoyed the cartoon. I'm not going to lie. It was fun. It was campy. If you said to me, pick something you want from the cartoon, I want Worlds Without End. I want an adaptation of Worlds Without End, more adult characters built. That was fucking awesome. That was such a dark, even as a kid, you knew that it was a dark episode. And I would love something like that. I also like for them to reach out to and do some more of the Palatoy, Action Force stuff. Right? They can't use the name Action Force, but they own all the designs. That's what a lot of people don't realize. Someone like Bobby Valla, he bought the name Action Force. He bought Steel Brigade. He can't design the Steel Brigade that he loves so much, and that's what the Steel Corps is. Like, that design is what he loves so much. So he designed a different Steel Brigade. It has very similar colors and a look where if you looked at it, you go, hey, you know what? That kind of looks like what you would assume a progression of this Steel Brigade probably would have looked like, right? But just like they did with Glenda and I forget who the other female was that came with Falcon. There are other characters that they can still do. They own the rights to those designs. Some of them may not own the names. That's why we've seen them add the actual full name in with the code name, is because they no longer own it. Shockwave is the one that's actually surprising, because it's like you own Shockwave for Transformers. So you must own it for G.I. Joe too, right? Like, you own it. It would be you battling with yourself. Dirty Knife says they don't have an attachment to Monster Force and other lines, but they seem to buy them right up. And that's because it's not G.I. Joe. And I will reiterate this. If you look at a lot of those G.I. Joe forums or G.I. Joe Facebook groups, not forums, really no forums anymore, Facebook groups, most of the G.I. Joe collectors are just that. They are G.I. Joe collectors. They don't collect Marvel Legends, Star Wars, Transformers. So they don't even understand what independent companies are. They think Mattel, Spin Master, Hasbro, those are like the only people making toys. There's people that they lose their mind because it sells out on Hasbro Pulse. And people are going, why don't you just go to BBTS? Go to Entertainment Earth. I don't know what those sites are. They're legit toy sites. Like the two biggest online toy makers. You're not going to get fucked by them. So, that's, and again, not everyone, but this is something, and I see it more and more. Like, I see it more and more in these groups. They don't. Now, what you do end up getting is people like myself who got back into, I was trying to, get as many of the O-rings back and trying to complete that. I know I'm never going to complete the O-ring collection. And then Classified came out. And then you start seeing, the MOTU. I'm seeing the Origins. And I start picking them up. And next thing I know, it was Action Force, because I needed something to complement my G.I. Joes. And then from there, you're going to BBTS, because now you've ordered a couple figures. Like, okay, this is a legit site. Now you're seeing other things that you start to like. And then you become you're no longer a G.I. Joe collector. You're no longer a MOTU collector. Now you're oh my goodness. Now you're a toy collector. Now your disposable income is going solely to toys. Operation Monster Force and the Big Bad Workshop stuff, Mythic Legion, Savage Crucibles, Boss Fight Studios, including what Hasbro makes, whether it be Star Wars, Marvel, and obviously G.I. Joe. I don't do Transformers or Turtles. Thank God. How much stuff do they put out there, right? And collecting is a bug. It is a sickness. I believe I passed it down to my daughter. My son, he's 19, almost 20. There's certain characters that he likes, but he doesn't feel the need to get stuff. Olivia, on the other hand, if she sees something Stitch, she feels like she points it out. There's so much Stitch stuff, you cannot buy all Stitch stuff. No one buys Super 7. People try and buy Super 7, then they quickly realize, man, that shit sucks. MC Mazda said, Rip Lenny, he gave us dinosaurs, he gave us wolves, he gave us bears. His loss is too much to bear. But the line is not going anywhere. That is, at least not anytime soon. And again, I've heard the people say, oh, just a bunch of repaints. Now all Hasbro's going to do is just try and, suck the money from the collectors. Yeah, they've already been doing that. But, they're in an industry. They understand that if you're not creating new stuff, then the brand dies and they don't make money. I truly do believe that it'd be hard to convince me that Lenny and the guys in the G.I. Joe brand didn't look at other toy manufacturers and go, what are they doing? They're taking money out of our pockets, out of Hasbro's pockets, right? So we have to keep up. If they're adding this articulation, we have to do something that is equal or better than what they're doing. Because when a smaller company is ordering 5,000 of a figure, and I have no idea what the numbers are, but let's say they're ordering 5,000 of a figure, Hasbro is putting an order for 30 to 50,000. They're in the big box stores. They're at Amazon, right? G.I. Joe, Marvel Legends, Star Wars, these all have, built-in, fan bases. The property is there. So they would be an idiot to let that die. So I don't see it just being a bunch of repaints. With that said, G.I. Joe has always been about repaints. Master of the Universe has always been about repaints. Hell, the Transformers started off with 3 Seekers. Starscream, Thundercracker, and Skywarp, right? They were the same fucking... No one ever complained that that's just Starscream in blue. That's just, Starscream in purple. No one ever did that. They were like, that's fucking cool. I can get 3 planes. WrestleMe says, we got the next 18 months planned out, and maybe Nolenny will be good. And there is that too. He is not the be-all, end-all. He is the one that fought to make Classified what it is today. But it doesn't mean someone else can't come in and say, hey, you know what? He's done a wonderful job. And it shows me that they are giving me the ability to do more. And I'm willing to do more. And maybe I'll push the boundaries a little bit more, right? Sometimes you don't know what you don't know. I see it with kids skateboarding all the time. They're doing shit and you're like, fuck, they don't know what they don't know. And that is, things hurt when you get older. So maybe there's someone that comes in and pushes it a little bit more. But again, the blueprint is already there. Jamie Garcia says, limited resources of money and especially space have made it so where I pretty much buy stuff that scratches nostalgia itch. Lots of cool new stuff, but just not night space. So I get that. And that is where, in all honesty, what they have tried to do. And what I mean by that is when all these people would say, I have no connection to it, not what I had in the 80s. Yeah. Why haven't they given me the OG 13? Well, because they know there's people that would have only bought the OG 13 and then been gone. You realize the only reason why the OG 13 is because they had to start off with 13 figures. There had to be 13 figures originally. The only reason why Series 2 is because there had to be a Series 2. And they know people want it. So a smart business plan is, well, we know these people want it. We know a lot of them are going to stick around to the end no matter what. As long as we keep introducing cool new characters, then hopefully some of these people who only wanted the OG 13 will start picking up some of these. And then they'll get into the property and want more than just that. And there's no doubt in my mind that that's what's happened. That they have kept it going. And there are people that thought, hey, I was just going to get the OG 13. Which, first off, I don't know why that's all you want. They're the boringest of all the fucking figures. Can we all agree? I mean, even the shitty figures at the end weren't as boring. I mean, I still rather have the OG 13, but, are you going to tell me that Series 2 isn't better than Series 1? No, it's not even close. Destro is cooler than, the original 3 Cobra, the Cobra Trooper, Cobra Officer, and Cobra Commander. He's just a cooler figure. Major Blood. Gung Ho is just cooler, right? So you start to see better and better figures. And that's what they were trying to do. And I think that by the end of the year, we will have the OG 13. And we'll see if that many people really bow out after that. Because there's always going to be a reason to stick around. Cooking with Eric says there is no OG 13. Why is there not OG 13? Are you going to say because of Shooter? Again, Eric, I think sometimes you get stuck trying to think exactly. Well, this is exactly what you're trying to say. Like words, like, okay, we understand what we're saying, but you know what we're talking about. Only that says, on the flip side, I can't wait to see what Lenny cooks up at Boss Fight Studios. I'm with you. I think that a lot was looked at what he did with Cobra Law, what he did with Animal Companions, what he did making Raptor. Like, that is what they live off a lot of that fantasy stuff. Lego Star Wars Kid says, I don't see how you can say maybe it's good we lose Lenny. I mean, Joe Classified has been great. Why would you want that changed? It's okay. See, this is, you're not understanding. No one is saying they wanted a change. But let's be honest. It's like nobody wants a favorite athlete to leave their sports team. But sometimes it happens and you get somebody that's better. I'm not saying they're pulling anyone off the street, and I'm not saying, hey, this was on a decline, right? He's done wonderful, wonderful stuff for it. But there is a good chance. There is a chance that they just bring in somebody that says, wow, what Lenny has done is awesome, and we can continue that, but ... I can do this. I can do that. I can do a little more. And it might be a good thing that you get new, fresh eyes on it. Just like it might be good for Lenny to go elsewhere where he doesn't have restrictions. And a lot of times you have restrictions. Like, there's two ways to think of looking at, like, working in a corporate or working for a corporation. First off, you know where you can and can't push the boundaries. So sometimes you never push past that boundary because you don't want the kickback. And then you get someone who doesn't know what they don't know. And they push that boundary. And even though sometimes they may be told no, sometimes the people above them might go, huh, I think that just might work. Now, if you're asking me, would I rather have Lenny on the team and still be the guy in charge over taking a chance at someone new? I'd much rather have Lenny. He has a vision. He seems to want to continue to progress it. But maybe you just get someone that says, hey, you know what? Things are different. Let's change things. And I've heard so many things, from behind the scenes, that Lenny and Corey and others have done, that you hope that whoever comes in, if they get pushback, they're willing to step up. 80s Joe says, my first disappointment with the parts being reused is when I ordered my Steel Brigade figure and I got Airborne's body with a weird helmet and a dot matrix printed file card. Okay. I feel like I'm missing something. Okay. Recon Willie from Canada here. Well, you know what? I'm gonna throw this up at you really quick.
Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. You gotta understand, man. I never even saw these assholes before.
All right, so Recon really says, new collector here, retro card classified, got me, have not bought a toy in 35 years. Now I am almost complete. The box classified would not have got me. And that is why they did it. That's why Star Wars Black Series, that's why they have them, that's why they have the Black Series on cards that look like the original. That's why Marvel Legends, they have stuff that looks like from the Toy Biz. That is why they made the Dodge Challenger to look like the Challenger of, the 60s and early 70s, right? Like, you're absolutely right. And you walk through the aisle and you saw it. I don't know if that's how you found it or not, but that's what they were hoping. That's what they were hoping to get. But when they started it, they were trying, again, G.I. Joe has always changed, right? It has constantly been changing. And Classified was supposed to be something completely different. Then they did a turn because they realized people weren't happy with it. So you make that turn. And then you start doing these retro cards. And the retro cards started off at Walmart. No one knew how well they were going to do. But now they're at a point that they do well. Now, I know they end up at Ross. They'll probably end up at some Ollie's, and people say, no one wants them. That's not true. You just, you make a lot of them. And even though people think they're all losing money off it, those things are going to Ross and stuff because they've made their money off it. And now they can discard these other ones, recoup some of it. They're still in the black. That's the way it's supposed to be. And Recon Willie says, I need Hawk, Slaughter, Shipwreck, Spirit, Dusty, Snowjob, Serpenter, Crimson Twins, the Dreadnoks. It's Dreadnoks, not Dreadnoughts. Sorry, I hate to be that dick, but it's not the Dreadnoughts. It's the Dreadnoks. And when you say, how can it be better without Lenny? As I don't know if this is Lenny. I don't want to fully throw him under the bus. I think the guy spells worse than I do because there's a few spelling mistakes that don't get caught. I know some of you know what I'm talking about, especially when it comes to the Dreadnoks. So I would just say, for the record here, I don't see how we don't get a snow job. That was a Pulse exclusive. That one should be done. I don't know about the other one. The Crimson Twins need to be done again. Of all the packaging, they need the mirrors. That was just some of the coolest packaging ever. When they did the Crimson Twins, they're so retro. There's not too much more you could do. They had never done 2-packs, and it was the dumbest thing for them not to, because the fact that you would go to a store and you would find 3 Zamots and no Tomax or vice versa. And you're like, well, why would I buy just one? Somewhere little Jimmy has a Zamot, doesn't know there's a twin, and somewhere there's a collector pissed off that Tomax was the only figure there. Oh, and Amazon also realized, hey, we can sell one at 13 and not mark down the other one. I guess it's still a deal. But the box has got a lot of people. I mean, you watch my reviews and you'll see all those boxes. You know, Tony makes fun of me. And then Tony looks and he's like, it actually looks pretty cool. But Lego Star Wars says, I'm looking forward to the future, but I'm a bit scared. I am too. This might go in the wrong direction, and also they might not have the same enthusiasm. And that's why I'm hoping like B-Mac and Tony are that person. And say what you want about Emily. She had an enthusiasm for the line. And I know people say, well, she doesn't know anything about it. Well, guess what? There's a lot of people that don't know anything about certain types of, you know, car manufacturers. And they walk into it and they learn. Literally, you go to your job and you start a new job, you learn it, right? You learn to do different things. But yeah, it's just, do I worry that it may take a direction that I don't really like? Yeah. Remember where it started, though. I like the new figures. I like the original Classified. It was something different. Do I think they're close to as good as they are now? No. Do I still love that original Duke? I like him way more than I realized because I was going to retire him when I got the retro Duke. And then I got the retro Duke and I went to go package them back up and I went, damn, I really like this figure. You just had to change the gun, and that's what I did. But yeah. No, you're right. There was the most obvious 2-pack. It was too easy, and they fucked it up. But yeah. And Fast Tone says change is good. Change can be good. I don't think there needed to be a change at this point. I don't think there needed to be a change at this point. But there is. So what you have to hope for is that whoever they hire just has, whether or not they come in with the love for G.I. Joe or they get on the brand, kind of like how Emily did, and they learn to love it. And you look and you go, there is 60 plus years of storytelling. Going back to Action Man, obviously A Real American Hero, Renegade, Sergeant Savage, the original G.I. Joes. There's so much to do in 6-inch form. And then obviously what Energon is doing, and still what Larry Hama is writing, and what Sunbow did, right? There was also Deke. They did stuff too. And, what did they say? Everyone loves Deke. Deke. No, not everyone did. But, Lenny was one that would actually go ahead and he'd look at the Devils Do stuff. And some people lost their fucking minds. Kamakura is a great figure. It is a figure that they did it good, and some people weren't happy with it, but in the end, it was what you expected, what you wanted, and that's where Zanya's coming from. Go look up pictures of Zanya, and you're like, oh, dude, they nailed her. So, but anyway, there I did over 3 hours, as I always do. Well, almost always do. It is after midnight. I have to work in the morning, and then I have to come home, do Circle of Jerks, and then I'm going to have have some reviews to do. And then I also have to watch Daredevil, because I do enjoy Daredevil. I know some people don't like it, but I definitely do. So I'm going to get out of here. You don't have Kamakura? That's sad. Jason Lord says Hasbro should embrace this as their darling brand, aka Mattel Barbie, but they don't. I can't disagree with that. They own Transformers, but Transformers is still some weird joint with the Kari. G.I. Joe is their brand. I'm not going to say it saved them in the 80s, but it definitely helped make them in the 80s. Times were different, right? You're coming out of Vietnam. Times were definitely different. You had the Cold War, all that other shit going on. But you own a brand that is highly successful, and it goes through its ups and downs. And I think the biggest thing to do is to continue to make it have less downs and more ups, right? And you're right. Barbie is solely for girls. Yes, boys can like Barbies, but they don't. Just like girls can like G.I. Joes, but most of them really don't, right? And it's a cash cow. But in the end, so is Transformers for them. And I will say it again. Transformers will always be around because how hard is it to sell a robot to a kid? How hard is it to sell a car to a kid? And it really ain't hard to sell a fucking robot that turns into a car to a kid. So, but yeah, it does not fit. It doesn't fit. And yeah, if I remember correctly, the neck peg doesn't fit because that was when they first started changing them. And Recon Willie says, make a good new G.I. Joe style, make a good new retro style G.I. Joe cartoon. That's what we need. Pump out new stories with the original Joe style. I think that's what they need to get away from. As much as I would like it, you want to bring in a new generation, and you have to do a generation that is away from Vietnam. That's what G.I. Joe is built after. That's what a real American hero is built after, right? And they're still doing it, right? Larry Hama is still writing a real American hero, and he introduced 2 new characters recently. The Energon universe is something that is encompassing all of these Hasbro brands that they own: Mask, Transformers. It's all mixed together. So maybe you decide to do a fucking HasLab Optimus Prime with Hawk driving it. I don't know if he ever does. The thing would be huge and awesome. But I'm surely going to get out of here because it's after midnight. And like I said, I got to get going. Thank you to everyone who tuned in. Once again, I'm not sure if the crates are still available. If they are, head on over there. Order some. There is merch, Circle of Jerks shirts, the Punk with Toys, my dog on Duke's body. That is available up there and some other things. But I'm going to get out of here. Thank you to all of you that watch. Please tune in tomorrow. Circle of Jerks, 6:30-ish p.m. over at Baldy Locks Reviews. That's where a few of us idiots do a show. And if you want to hear a couple, more than a few people rag on each other, that is the right fucking place to go. So I will see you guys all this Thursday. I will be on Toy Domination, not doing Thursday with a friend because we asked me to come on, and I like Dom. So take care.